up every time.
Breaking news.
Did hurt, but some foolish stuff that went on. Something like he went in a meeting unprepared. Like, dude, Shedeur Sanders, who's had 6 different coordinators, who has still functioned and went up, leveled up every time we brought somebody new in. You gonna tell me he had on headphones? Anybody know my son? I understand he's a professional. Like, he's gonna go into a meeting with headphones on. Like, y'all come on, man. But you know what? That gave them something that they needed. It gave them the edge that I have. You know, when folks say we're gonna be nothing, we had to prove that. That gave them the edge that they needed. Both of them.
The Cleveland Browns really thought they'd finally solved their eternal quarterback curse. But then Deion Sanders came through and dropped one move that turned their whole master plan into pure comedy. This isn't just football anymore. It's a full-blown reality show with shoulder pads and chaos.
Protect that quarterback. Every week we say, let's protect that quarterback. Let's do some things that we don't feel like they can stop. We feel like we have the best receiving core in the country. We can protect the quarterback, and those guys, eventually they're going to get open, especially if we have the assistance of a running game. And we showed flashes of having a running game. Isaiah did a phenomenal job today breaking one, but we got to be more consistent with that. And sky would be the limit if we can really have consistency and the word escapes me what I'm trying to say, but we need to really want and desire and just have passion to run the football at times.
The Browns quarterback drama just became the juiciest saga in the NFL, and it's got more twists than a season finale cliffhanger. You might want to grab some popcorn for this one, because the madness is unreal. If you're feeling this breakdown, make sure to hit subscribe. It helps the channel way more than you think. Now, let's talk about Cleveland's never-ending quarterback roulette. For decades, it's been like watching the same bad sitcom that refuses to get canceled, no matter how terrible the ratings get.
We don't care about being correct anymore. We just want to be first.
Oh.
And there's no subjection to you when you're wrong. Nobody says nothing. You just go with it. I'm not saying that's the case, but that's where we are in media. Nobody gives a darn about being correct or being right. Everybody just want to be first. That don't make no sense to me. I would love the integrity that we once had with media. I would love that.
Every year, they swipe right on a new quarterback, hoping this one will finally be the one. And every year, it's the same heartbreak all over again. You'd think by now they'd have a clue. But nope, the Browns somehow made picking a quarterback look like solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. And just when it couldn't get worse, Deion Sanders walked in and turned their confusion into national entertainment. Deion didn't just make a move. He dropped a bomb with the confidence of a man wearing designer shades at midnight.
Yeah, Deion over there sipping that tea, dropping jewels. Like, look, what's going on, media? First of all, y'all asked me about this quarterback controversy decision that you know I can't answer because I'm trying to get the leg up on my opponent. So come on. But do your job. I get it. But since we're talking about, and you see he took that pause, since we're talking about doing your job, what's up with y'all job? Like, y'all used to have some integrity, as he said. Now y'all just trying to be first. Just make sure you get out there. Even if it hurts Colorado, even though no matter what I do, where I lead the people, I don't care. I want to be first.
He didn't even have to say a word. The second his decision hit, Cleveland's front office looked like students who just realized their big project was due yesterday. The panic, instant. The fallout, legendary. This isn't strategy anymore. It's survival in real time. This wasn't just a football move anymore. It was an expose, a roast, and a reality check all rolled into one explosive primetime moment.
I just can't wait to see what comes to pass on the field. A couple quarterbacks are fighting for who's going to be who. We don't know. No one's getting a nod right now. We're testing both of them to see how they react to what Pat is throwing at them, and they're doing a phenomenal job in leadership. You got to understand the offensive line and some of the guys that are still here is used to a certain type of leader, and these guys, we want them. The standard is the standard. We're not going to shy away from the standard at receiver, at quarterback, or wherever have it. The standard is the standard. Let's go.
It felt less like sports and more like Deion Sanders hosting an unplanned comedy special at Cleveland's expense. See, Deion's got that rare energy that makes everyone else look like they're playing catch-up. The man could stroll into a corporate meeting with nothing but a whistle around his neck and still make the executives look lost. And that's exactly what went down with the Browns. While Deion calmly guided his squad with that laser-sharp vision he's known for, Cleveland was out here stumbling through the dark again, tossing money, prayers, and desperate hope at any quarterback who could halfway throw a spiral. It's like they think chaos is part of the playbook. Let's be real. The Browns' quarterback strategy makes less sense than a toddler's art project.
We ain't petitioning for nobody. We ain't doing that. We got a wonderful display of cameras here, and I think we on national television every week. If they can't see it, there's a problem. Don't allow their hatred for me to interfere with our kids' success. They got to stop that. Y'all got to stop some of y'all like that. Y'all got to stop that, man. Give the kids what they deserve, man. I done had my turn. You had, I played 14 years. They had 14 years to hate me. Now let it go.
One week, they're searching for their future franchise savior. And the next, they're pressing reset like it's a video game. The wild part? Browns fans didn't need fancy ESPN graphics or press conferences to get it. The moment Deion made his move, everyone saw it clear as day. His precision made Cleveland's confusion look downright tragic and hilarious. It was like watching someone with 20/20 vision hand glasses to a dude who's been walking into walls his whole life. Suddenly, every fan, every reporter, every rival could see the Browns' quarterback situation for what it truly is: chaotic, desperate, and absolutely ridiculous.
Career is being destroyed as of right now, but we're going to see what guys say about that. We're going to see what guys say about that. Again, I told you he was going to be where he is until the truth came out. Here we are. We're talking about the third phase and this entire plot to erasure and to destroy Shedeur's career, to kick Shiloh out, to hold down the Sanders legacy, and to elevate the Manning legacy. That's all.
And here's the best part. Deion didn't even have to name drop them. He just made his move, and the ripple effect exposed everything. That's how deep Cleveland's dysfunction runs. It's like a haunted house, man. All it takes is one flashlight beam, and suddenly you realize just how terrifying the mess really is. Meanwhile, over in Cleveland, the panic meter was exploding off the charts. You could almost hear the front office whispering, "Wait, does this make us look clueless?" Oh, it did. And worse. Deion exposed them without even trying, like a chef bringing five-star cuisine to a potluck while everyone else is standing there holding sad bags of chips. The contrast was brutal.
It was one of those nights. And I mean, shoot, that's what we expect. He's so darn good that we don't give him the credit that he deserves for some of the things that he does.
Coach, you started 15-15 school record.
Wow. See, you don't even know that stuff because you're into the game and you're coaching. You don't even think about that kind of stuff. I remember, I think he did that one time in Jackson, that he was phenomenal like that. But wow. Wow. And they don't even mention him but Heisman. He's not even mentioned. Oh, my bad. He's not.
Deion came through with clarity, direction, and confidence, while the Browns, they're starring in their own tragic sitcom, where every fresh start spoils faster than milk left in the sun. Every new era collapses before the ink on the contract even dries. Fans are fed up, the league's cracking jokes, and Deion's just standing there calm as ever, proving that real leadership exposes weakness faster than any stat sheet ever could. The Browns didn't just get compared to Deion, they got completely undressed by him without him lifting a finger. He showed the world that their entire decision-making process is one big house of cards, ready to collapse at the slightest breeze.
What are the Browns doing with Shedeur Sanders? I don't quite understand why they didn't just release him when they had to cut a quarterback if they're not even going to use him in the practice squad.
It is an interesting situation that the Browns have because, like, their purported savior is this fifth-round draft pick, and it just so happened to be in a year in which they drafted a quarterback ahead of him. So maybe we trust the evaluation there and say, like, maybe Dillon Gabriel. I know it doesn't make sense to our eyes, and Shedeur probably fits what you envision a franchise quarterback looking like, certainly more than Dillon Gabriel. But they have two of these ripcords that...
And honestly, who's shocked? Their quarterback list over the years is longer than a CVS receipt. Quarterbacks in, quarterbacks out, like a revolving door that never stops spinning. At this point, it's like they're running a QB clearance sale. Everything must go, no refunds. And yet, somehow, they still can't get the basics right. When you line up Deion's confidence next to Cleveland's confusion, it's not even a contest. It's straight up comedy gold.
At my own point of view, like, I don't want him coming to see me right now because I want to get to where I want to go then for him to see me. I don't want him to come and see me, get a couple reps and, he's cheering like a good dad. Like, nah, you can't be proud of me right now. I got to get to where I'm going, and I know it's a lot I got to do to get there. So it's kind of like I just want everything that I'm doing is just like focus on this time, and I don't want no distractions because we know how the media, we know how everybody will take it and take away from the team just from him being my own dad showing up. So, it's a gift and a curse at the.
This isn't a rivalry anymore. It's a live sketch where the Browns keep setting themselves up for the punchline, and everyone's in the audience laughing. One side is sharp, fearless, and laser-focused. The other, the Browns, still treating quarterback decisions like a group project where nobody bothered to do the homework. That's the perfect irony of it all. Until Cleveland figures that out, every move they make is gonna look like the blooper reel to Deion's highlight tape. Pure embarrassment on replay. Now here's the million-dollar question. How many times do the Browns need to trip over their own playbook before they finally get it right? Or better yet, will they ever get it right? Because right now, it feels like Deion Sanders, with one slick, calculated decision, just turned their entire quarterback circus into the NFL's biggest open secret, and it's hilarious. The wildest part? This whole mess quietly exposed how the Browns, and honestly, the league itself, really feel about Shedeur Sanders. They don't even need to say it out loud. You can see it in the hesitation, the awkward pauses, the way they treat his name like it's written in invisible ink on their scouting reports. It's all there, hidden in plain sight. Shedeur could throw a football through a hurricane, win a game blindfolded, and the narrative would still be that he needs more proving. Like, come on, or worse, they pull out that tired line. It's not the right time. Not the right time? The Browns haven't had the right time since rotary phones were a thing. If this isn't the right time, what are they waiting for? The invention of teleportation.
One of them is going to be one.
That's what I'm talking about.
One of them is going to be
speaking
one.
into existence.
And the latter one would not go behind 4. Now, all this is subjective because I know where I kind of want them to go. And let's not forget shallow, okay? But I know where I want them to go. So in certain cities that ain't gonna happen.
Okay, you on point.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be an.
It's honestly comical how obvious the bias is. The league loves its chosen ones, those perfectly packaged faces of the franchise they hype to the moon, and then act shocked when the pressure crushes them. But when someone like Shedeur actually walks the walk, suddenly everyone gets stage fright. The Browns need a quarterback like a fish needs water, but instead of diving in, they're standing at the edge debating whether the water's too wet. You can't make this stuff up. It's not football strategy anymore. It's pure fear dressed up as decision-making, and Deion just made that crystal clear for the world to see. Deion's decision didn't just shake things up. It exposed how ridiculous the whole situation really is. But let's keep it real. This isn't just about Cleveland anymore. The truth is, the entire league has been dragging its feet on Shedeur from day one. And don't let anyone act like it's a mystery. There's a weird, unspoken fear in the NFL that Shedeur Sanders might actually be that guy. You can see it everywhere, in the awkward silence, the soft avoidance, the way analysts downplay his highlights like they're just lucky moments. Please, you don't luck your way into pinpoint accuracy, calm composure, and surgical throws under pressure. That's not luck. That's generational skill staring them right in the face while they pretend to study backup QBs, like that's the future. The double standard is wild. Some quarterbacks throw one deep ball at practice and the whole media machine loses its mind. Instant comparisons to Montana, legends, greatness, all that hype. But when Shedeur does it, crickets. The same analysts who worship mediocrity suddenly turn into skeptics when real talent walks in. And Cleveland? Man, their part in this circus is just embarrassing. They're a franchise that's been stuck on the quarterback carousel for decades, spinning so hard it's basically a carnival ride now. Yet when Shedeur's name comes up, everyone freezes like someone just asked them to solve quantum physics on a napkin. The hesitation, the overthinking, the constant maybe later routine, it's comedy gold. If decision-making were an Olympic event, the Browns wouldn't even make it past tryouts. What makes it even funnier is how every time they stall, they just expose themselves more. It's like watching someone spill ketchup on their shirt and then try to hide it by flipping it inside out. Like, bro, we still see the stain. Now you just look confused and messy. Deion's clarity with his own choices threw a giant spotlight on all of it. Cleveland's indecision, the league's hesitation, and the uncomfortable truth that Shedeur's absence from their plans looks way too intentional. The man has the tools, the poise, the leadership, everything that screams franchise quarterback. But the league's acting like he's rewriting a script they're not ready for. So instead, we get this awkward charade where other quarterbacks get opportunities hand-delivered like Amazon Prime packages, while Shedeur has to fight through layers of unnecessary doubt he's already crushed on the field. It's like handing out participation trophies to everyone else, then telling Shedeur he's got to invent fire before he's allowed to win a medal. Let's stop pretending. This bias isn't subtle, it's blinding, and every time Deion makes a bold move, it just makes that spotlight shine even brighter on how broken the system really is. It's not about who I'd like to see him play for, it's about who's brave enough to actually give him the shot he deserves. And Browns fans, they see it clear as day. NFL fans in general see it too. Every single time Shedeur gets overlooked, it's like the league's trying to sleep through the loudest alarm clock on earth. You can fake being asleep all you want, but everyone knows you're just lying there wide awake, refusing to face the noise. The NFL's issue with Shedeur isn't about talent or performance, it's about fear. Fear of being wrong, fear of change, fear of someone who refuses to fit neatly into their outdated little boxes. Shedeur could walk into almost any locker room tomorrow and lift that team's entire energy. But instead, the league's stuck in analysis paralysis, convincing themselves that maybe, just maybe, the answer's already on their roster. Spoiler alert, it's not. And here's the wild part. Every delay, every pause, every excuse only makes Shedeur look better. Because while the Browns and half the league are fumbling through their indecision, Shedeur keeps stacking proof. Game after game, throw after throw, play after play. Every performance is another receipt stamped and filed for everyone to see. And when the narrative finally breaks, and trust me it will, his rise is going to hit even harder because of how long they tried to downplay it. The longer they pretend not to see it, the bigger his breakout becomes. That's the beautiful irony of it all. The truth is simple. Shedeur Sanders is the next big thing, and deep down, everybody knows it. The Browns know it, the NFL knows it, and the fans have known it for a while now. The only ones still pretending otherwise are the ones too scared to admit they've been wrong from the jump. And the longer they keep dodging the truth, the funnier the whole thing gets. Because at this point, Shedeur doesn't need validation. It's the league in Cleveland that need therapy for their fear of making the right call. The man's already proved he's built different. It's everyone else who's too nervous to admit it. And honestly, watching them squirm, panic, and overthink while Shedeur keeps shining might just be the most entertaining part of the whole show. If you're loving this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.
War zurückzustecken. Du hast gesagt, er hat ein paar Nummer 1 Wiederholungen bekommen. Stimmt das mit deinem Dirty?
Nein. Ich meine, bei einem jungen Quarterback, bei dem Dylan in der Startelf steht, willst du sicherstellen, dass er viele Wiederholungen bekommt. Anders ist es bei einem Veteranen wie Joe, würde ich sagen, Tony, der aber trotzdem Wiederholungen bekommt und eine Menge.
Er arbeitet hart und lernt wirklich jeden Tag, jede Woche dazu. Er macht einen guten Job, holt jeden Tag das Beste aus jedem Einzelnen heraus und fühlt sich mit dem System immer wohler. Ich denke, als Quarterbacks zählen wir nicht die Spielzüge, wir lassen die Spielzüge zählen. Egal welche Spielzüge wir bekommen. Wir sind dankbar dafür und lassen sie einfach zählen. Ob gegen die als Verteidigungsreihe oder Baldwin, Wallace, JBs, jeder Kampf, den wir als Quarterbacks haben, verwandelt sich in
das Trainingslager der Browns, das sich in eine ausgewachsene Reality-Show verwandelt hat. Und rate mal, wer im Mittelpunkt steht. Shedeur Sanders. Und glaub mir, das Rampenlicht ist glühend heiß. Gerüchten zufolge ist der Quarterback-Trainer völlig ausgerastet, nachdem Kevin Stefanski entschieden hat, dass Shedeur sich lieber auf die Größe konzentrieren soll, anstatt sie selbst zu sein.
Schon wieder richtig? Seht ihr, Shedeur Sanders wurde sabotiert. Das wissen wir doch alle. Ich habe euch das schon Jahre im Voraus gesagt, aber ich schätze, ich bin derjenige, der den Verstand verloren hat. Aber ich habe euch bewiesen, dass Shedeur nicht nur sabotiert wurde, sondern dass er seine Pflicht bewusst verletzt hat. Das heißt, die Trainer sind hierher gekommen, um Shedeur loszuwerden und
jetzt liegt auf dem Trainingsgelände von Cleveland die Luft voller Spannungen, Getuschel von der Seitenlinie und dem unverkennbaren Geruch eines sich anbahnenden Bürgerkriegs unter den Quarterbacks. Hat Stefanski wirklich den falschen Sanders angestupst? Denn das könnte der wildeste Zusammenbruch der Browns seit der Johnny Manziel-Saga werden und das ist erst das Trainingslager. Und bitte klickt auf den Abonnieren-Button. Ich bin meinem Ziel von 1000 Abonnenten so nah. Bill Musgrave hat nicht nur für Wirbel gesorgt, er hat die ganze Sache in Brand gesetzt.
Browns Quarterback-Trainer ist gezwungen, sein Schweigen zu brechen und zuzugeben, dass alle Quarterbacks Quarterback-Trainingseinheiten mit dem Scout-Team bekommen. Wie ich euch die ganze Woche erzählt habe, kommen viele Informationen über das Training der Cleveland Browns ans Licht. Und das heißt, dass Shedeur Sanders keine Quarterback-Scout-Einheiten bekommt, Bro. Und ich bin hier, um euch zu sagen, dass er das nicht bekommt. Jetzt hat sich Quarterback-Trainer Bill Musgrave in die Sache eingemischt. Denn er hat vor wenigen Augenblicken mit Reportern gesprochen und im Grunde erklärt, dass alle Quarterbacks ihren Scout bekommen. So.
Der Mann kam durch und hat den Quarterback-Raum der Browns mit Worten abgefackelt, die Brandspuren vom Lake Erie bis zu den Wänden der Umkleidekabine hinterlassen haben. Und seien wir ehrlich, das war nicht nur ein harmloser Kommentar des Trainers. Es war eine ausgewachsene Rebellion des Quarterbacks, getarnt als Feedback. Sein Ziel: Kevin Stefanski, der ruhige, höfliche Cheftrainer, der es irgendwie schafft, sein elektrisierendes Talent zu ignorieren, während er lächelt, als wäre alles in Ordnung. Alles begann, als sich das Trainingslager der Browns immer weniger nach Football und mehr nach den echten Quarterbacks von Cleveland anfühlte. Stefanski, in all seinem sogenannten Football-Genie, entschied, dass Dylan Gabriel jedes Spiel der ersten Mannschaft für sich beanspruchen sollte wie ein Kind, das sein Lieblingsspielzeug umklammert.
Dass Shedeur Sanders Spielzeit von den Scouts erhält. Sad. Offiziell ist der Offensive Quarterback Coach der Cleveland Browns, Musgrave, der neulich eine Pressekonferenz abhielt, in der er diese Situation ansprach, die von ESPN Radio Tony G-Man verbreitet wurde. Nun, ich verspreche euch, das ist passiert. Andrew Barry, der GM der Cleveland Browns, hörte und sah diesen Bericht und ging zu Kevin Sampson, um ihn einem seiner Mitarbeiter mitzuteilen und diese Aussage zu widerlegen.
Währenddessen blieb Shedeur Sanders, der am meisten gehypte Rookie, den Cleveland gesehen hatte, seit die Leute immer noch glaubten, Baker Mayfield sei der Auserwählte, am Spielfeldrand hängen und schaute zu wie ein Ersatzspieler bei einer Broadway-Show. Und da verlor Bill Musgrave die Fassung. Der Quarterback-Trainer war nicht nur anderer Meinung, er wurde wütend. Musgrave kam mit aller Macht daher und sagte im Grunde, Shedeur könne es mit jeder Herausforderung aufnehmen. Erstes Team, zweites Team oder sogar eine Horde wütender Linebacker, die mit bösen Absichten auf ihn zustürmten. Eines machte er klar: Shedeur ist nicht nur bereit, er ist überqualifiziert. Dieser Mann hat sich abgerackert, als würde er sich auf den Super Bowl vorbereiten, während das Trainerteam ihn wie einen Sommerpraktikanten behandelt, der auf eine Chance auf einen richtigen Job hofft. Musgrave bürgte nicht nur für Shedeurs Einsatz. Er ließ es so klingen, als würde Stefanski ein Footballverbrechen begehen, indem er ihn auf die Bank setzte.
Leute, ich bin hier, um euch zu sagen, Bill Musgrave, Quarterback-Trainer. Der Cleveland Browns versucht, alle Gerüchte aus der Welt zu schaffen und die Wahrheit über Shedeur Sanders und seine Verfügbarkeit bei den Trainingseinheiten der Cleveland Browns ans Licht zu bringen. Wir haben jetzt alle möglichen Berichte und all diese Insider, die all diese Informationen erhalten, sie veröffentlichen. Und wir reden darüber. Wir wissen, dass der langjährige ESPN-Moderator aus Cleveland, Tony Rizzo, sich sehr lautstark darüber geäußert hat, wie sie mit Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland umgehen. Und Tony Rizzo gräbt tiefer, und Tony Rizzo will einfach nur antworten, wie alle anderen auch. Wird Shedeur Sanders in die erste Mannschaft kommen?
Heißt, Shedeur hat das Camp mit präzisen Pässen, unerschütterlicher Gelassenheit, raketenartiger Armstärke und einem ruhigen, aber selbstbewussten Auftreten, das die Energie eines Quarterbacks ausstrahlt, aufgemischt. Alles, was man sich von einem Franchise-Quarterback wünscht, nur heißt er nicht Dylan Gabriel. Und das scheint das Problem zu sein. Seien wir ehrlich, bei diesem Drama geht es nicht nur um Trainingseinheiten. Es geht ums Ego. Es geht um Politik. Es geht um einen Cheftrainer, der allergisch darauf zu sein scheint, zuzugeben, dass er seinen eigenen Kader möglicherweise falsch eingeschätzt hat. Denn wenn dein Offensivkoordinator anfängt, so zu klingen, als wäre er bereit, diesen Kampf auf das Quarterback-Feld zu tragen, dann braut sich in Cleveland ein Sturm zusammen. Musgrave beließ es nicht bei, er ist bereit. Oh nein, er schaltete auf Motivationsredner um. Der Mann fing an, Shedeur Sanders anzupreisen, als wäre er die Wiedergeburt eines Footballstars. Er schrie über die wahnsinnige Arbeitsmoral des Jungen, seinen irren Antrieb und diese eiskalte Energie in seinen Adern, die auch unter Druck niemals nachlässt. Man konnte sich praktisch vorstellen, wie Stefanski durch sein Headset schwitzte, während Musgrave über Shedeur redete, als würde er einen Football-Messias beschreiben. Er beschrieb die Szene so: Shedeur wacht um 4 Uhr morgens auf, stemmt Gewichte, studiert Filme, meditiert und versucht vielleicht sogar persönlich den jahrzehntelangen Quarterback-Fluch der Browns noch vor dem Frühstück zu beenden. Währenddessen wirft Dillon Gabriel da drüben einfache Pässe, als würde er mit verbundenen Augen Darts spielen. Im Camp heißt es, Shedeur habe jedes einzelne Training in ein Highlight-Video verwandelt.
Evan ist immer noch derselbe Trainer wie vor 2 Jahren. Alle dachten, er sei schlechter als Flacco 2000 Yards warf und er einen Receiver und einen Tight End hatte, die den Ball fangen konnten. Also ging ich zurück. Trainer des Jahres. Und ich will Kevin nicht verteidigen. Ich habe das ganze Jahr über gesagt, wenn ihr feuern wollt, werde ich nicht dagegen ankämpfen. Es gibt genug Beweise dafür. Wenn ihr ihn feuern wollt, ich denke nur, dass das Problem in dieser Organisation viel tiefer sitzt. Den Cheftrainer zu feuern, ist wie ein Pflaster auf den Kopf zu kleben. Das wird nichts ändern. Es wird nichts ändern. Ihn sollte man feuern. Aber ihn nicht zu feuern, wird das Problem auch nicht ändern. Aber hier ist der Punkt. Aber Quatsch, wie Jay sagt, wir sind höher verdorben, als wenn
er sich für die Hall of Fame bewirbt, bevor er überhaupt einen richtigen NFL-Snap gemacht hat. Und Musgrave spricht im Grunde die Absurdität aus und sagt, du willst mir sagen, dass der Typ, der wie ein Navy SEAL trainiert, nicht ein einziges Mal in der ersten Mannschaft spielt? Diese Zeile schlug ein wie ein Schlag ins Gesicht. Stefanski hingegen behandelt Gabriels Selbstvertrauen weiterhin, als wäre es ein zerbrechliches Kunstwerk in einem Museum. Mit Vorsicht behandeln, keine plötzlichen Bewegungen. Währenddessen verbrennt Shedeur hier draußen das Tageslicht und wartet auf seine Chance zu beweisen, dass er der Richtige ist. Und Sansks Verteidigung, die ist unbezahlbar. Er behauptet, das alles sei Teil eines Entwicklungsplans. Ihr wisst, schon die Art von Plan, der irgendwie nur einen Spieler weiterentwickelt, während der andere auf der Bank sitzt und Geduld und Demut lernt. Seien wir ehrlich, Stefanski will nicht, dass irgendjemand sein glänzendes Lieblingsspielzeug Dillon Gabriel anfasst. Selbst wenn das bedeutet, denjenigen zu bremsen, der vielleicht tatsächlich Spiele gewinnt. Denn stellt euch das Chaos vor, wenn Shedeur endlich seine Chance bekäme und den sogenannten Auserwählten ausstechen würde. Stefanski müsste sich dann der karrierebestimmenden Wahrheit stellen, dass der Rookie nicht nur ein Hype ist, sondern besser und kein NFL-Trainer will so etwas. Musgraves Reaktion sagte alles. Er spielt keine Politik, er spielt auf Leistung.
Genau das, was Bill Musgrave zu sagen hatte. Und außerdem stach heraus, als er sagte, dass alle seine Ersatz-Quarterbacks im Scout-Team O seien. Ich würde sagen, das ist ein bisschen anders. Es ist aufregend, weil Jungs stolz darauf sind, die Verteidigung vorzubereiten. Sie wollen die Offensive des Gegners gut imitieren. Gleichzeitig wollen sie versuchen, jeden Spielzug zu nutzen, um unseren Spielplan für diese Woche zu erfüllen.
Er ist also im Grunde der eine Kollege, der in einem Meeting endlich ausrastet und ausspricht, was alle hinter verschlossenen Türen getuschelt haben. Und es wurde höchste Zeit, dass mal jemand das tut. Stefanskis Bevorzugung ist ja keine echte Neuigkeit. Bill Musgrave hat sich bloß dazu entschieden, das Ganze im Stadion an die große Glocke zu hängen. Und jetzt hat die ganze Situation dazu geführt, dass Browns-Fans sich in ausgewachsene Detektive verwandeln. Alle sezieren jede Sekunde des Trainingslagermaterials, als wäre es der Zapruder-Film. Habt ihr diese Spirale gesehen? Diese Taschenbewegung, dieses Timing? Fans schauen sich die Clips immer wieder an, als würden sie ein nationales Rätsel lösen. Das PR-Team der Browns braucht nach dieser Geschichte wahrscheinlich eine Woche im Spa, denn Musgrave musste nichts übertreiben.
Reden wir über den Wirbel um Shedeur Sanders und was in der Organisation der Browns vor sich geht. Es gibt Berichte über Gerüchte und ganze Situationen, die nach Teampolitik riechen, wie ich euch schon erzählt habe. Und wenn euch Shedeurs Karriere am Herzen liegt und er euch am Herzen liegt, dann müsst ihr euch das anhören. Ich bin nicht hier, um Verschwörungstheorien zu spinnen. Ich bin hier, um die Teeblätter zu lesen, den Klatsch mit dem Tee, wie man so schön sagt. Mehrere Quellen und Insider haben das Gleiche gesagt wie ich. Shedeur wurde nicht wie der Franchise-Quarterback behandelt, der er sein könnte. Stattdessen gab es Bevorzugungen, gemischte Botschaften vom Personal und eine Kultur, die es dem Jungen schwerer macht.
Shedeur Sanders' harte Arbeit sagt mehr als alle Gerüchte. Während einige Spieler die Tage bis zur Vorsaison herunterzählen, zählt Shedeur die Abschlüsse, die Wurzeln und die Möglichkeiten, wie er diesem Trainerteam das Gegenteil beweisen kann. Der Mann arbeitet, als hätte er einen persönlichen Rachefeldzug gegen die Mittelmäßigkeit. Stefanski denkt vielleicht, er würde Geduld lehren, aber in Wirklichkeit kreiert er nur die perfekten Höhepunkte für den Moment, in dem Shedeur endlich die Macht übernimmt. Und seien wir ehrlich, diese Machtübernahme könnte viel früher kommen, als Stefanski geplant hat. Die Risse in seinem sogenannten Masterplan werden langsam sichtbar. Die Medien bekommen Wind davon. Analysten tuscheln hinter den Kulissen. Und die Fans tuscheln nicht, sie schreien. Sie schreien. Sogar die Cleveland-Insiderin Mary Kay Catt, eine der angesehensten Stimmen der Stadt, schaltete sich in den Sturm ein. Und das tat sie nicht ohne Grund. Nachdem sie Shedeurs messerscharfe Präzision im Training beobachtet hatte, krönte sie ihn praktisch sofort zum Quarterback 1. Sie hob seine Genauigkeit, die sauberen Armwinkel, seine Gelassenheit unter Druck und seine absolute Beherrschung des Spielfelds hervor. Im Grunde alles, was ein Trainer bemerken sollte, bevor er die halbe Fangemeinde verprellt.
Shedeur Sanders wird nicht so schnell verschwinden, denn es scheint, als gäbe es jeden Tag, jeden Morgen, jeden Nachmittag und jeden Abend etwas Neues, worüber man reden könnte. Aber heute Morgen bei Unsportsmanlike Chris Canty hatte einiges über Kevin Stefanski zu sagen, denn im Grunde genommen hat Chris Canty eine Retourkutsche gemacht und Kevin Stefanski bei einer Lüge ertappt und ihn im nationalen Fernsehen für die Lügen, die er über Shedeur erzählt hat, bloßgestellt.
Ihr Urteil war brutal, aber ehrlich. Dylan Gabriel mag in Ordnung sein, aber Shedeur ist anders. Seine Würfe treffen nicht nur ins Schwarze, sie schneiden durch die Verteidigung wie Skalpelle. Und wenn ein Rookie unter Druck solche Pässe machen kann, ist das kein potenzielles Gesprächsthema mehr. Darauf können wir uns dann nicht mehr freuen. Und die Klügste, Mary Kay, hat es nicht beschönigt. Sie sagte ganz offen, dass es kein realistisches Szenario gibt, in dem Dylan Gabriel Shedeur aussticht. Nicht bei Übungen in der Red Zone, nicht bei Pocket-Übungen, nicht einmal an seinem besten Tag mit Rückenwind. Man kann die Ausreden praktisch wie eine kaputte Schallplatte hören. Die Receiver ließen Pässe fallen. Das Timing war schlecht. Es ist noch früh im Camp. Na klar, Kevin, erzähl die Geschichte einfach weiter. Doch selbst die loyalsten Verteidiger von Dylan Gabriel verlieren langsam den Glauben. Der erfahrene Sportspieler Tony G. aus Cleveland, der noch nie für sein großes Geschwätz bekannt war, hat endlich ausgesprochen, was alle anderen ihm zuflüsterten. Es ist eine Enttäuschung. Dylan sollte die ruhige Hand, der präzise Passgeber und der Anführer sein, der die Offensive stabilisieren konnte. Stattdessen verfehlt er offene Ziele, als würde er auf Geister zielen.
Ist an diesem Wochenende noch der zweitgrößte aktive Quarterback?
Nun, zuerst einmal muss ich euch sagen, dass uns der Joe-Trade überrascht hat. Das war nichts, was wir kommen sahen. Sie haben uns angerufen. Nein, das ist sehr schnell passiert und ist noch nicht allzu lange her. Naja, wir arbeiten also immer noch an allen Kaderfragen. Ich muss immer auf unsere Spieler und ihre Entwicklung achten. Ich möchte immer das tun, was das Beste für unser Spiel ist.
Jeder Wurf, der nicht aufs Tor geht, ist ein weiteres Zeichen dafür, dass Stefanskis Loyalität vielleicht doch nicht stimmt. Tony beschönigte es auch nicht. Er sagte, Dylans Rhythmus sei weg und diese ständigen Fehlzündungen würden den gesamten Offensivfluss ruinieren. Denn wenn dein Quarterback nicht ins Schwarze trifft, kann deine Offensive nicht vorankommen. Und wenn die Offensive sich nicht bewegen kann, wird das ganze Spiel ausarten. Stellt euch jetzt Stefanski vor, mit verschränkten Armen und Pokerface, der so tut, als wäre dieses Chaos Teil einer 4D-Schachstrategie. In Wirklichkeit ist es eher ein schlechter Bluff, den alle bereits durchschaut haben. Die ganze Umkleidekabine kann das erkennen, aber Stefanski verdoppelt trotzdem weiter. Währenddessen sitzt Musgraves am anderen Ende des metaphorischen Tisches und sieht aus, als wäre er nur noch eine Sekunde davon entfernt, ihn komplett umzudrehen. Das ist nicht mehr nur eine Übungsmeinung, es ist ein Kampf um Glaubwürdigkeit. Musgraves unterstützt Shedeur Sanders wie ein Mann, der die Zukunft gesehen hat und genau weiß, wie sie endet. Stefanski hält jedoch an einer Entscheidung fest, die zunehmend persönlicher als professioneller Natur ist. Und jetzt kommt der verrückte Teil. Trotz all des Drucks, des Medienrummels und der Politik ist Shedeur derjenige, der auftaucht und wie der einzige Erwachsene im Raum wirkt. Musgrave sorgte dafür, dass das auch jeder bemerkte und lobte Shedeurs natürliche Führungsstärke, sein stilles Selbstvertrauen und seine Fähigkeit, echt zu bleiben. Keine gespielten Reden, keine einstudierten Soundbites, einfach nur pure, rohe Authentizität in einer Liga voller medientrainierter Roboter. Und genau deshalb fühlt sich dieser Quarterback-Kampf weniger wie ein Wettbewerb an, sondern eher wie eine Revolution, die nur darauf wartet, zu passieren. Musgrave hat im Grunde allen gesagt, dass Shedeur Sanders nichts ändern muss, weil der beste Anführer derjenige ist, der sich nicht entschuldigt. Taco. Und ehrlich gesagt, das ist erfrischend. Während die meisten Trainer davon besessen sind, Spieler zu Systemrobotern zu formen, sagt Musgraves hier, lasst den Mann kochen, kochen. Allein diese Denkweise hat Clevelands Quarterback-Debatte in einen ausgewachsenen Bürgerkrieg verwandelt. Die Ironie ist wie aus einem Film. Die Browns, ein Team, das für sein Quarterback-Chaos geradezu berühmt ist, verpflichten endlich einen jungen, talentierten Quarterback mit Haltung und Präzision und schaffen es trotzdem irgendwie, noch mehr Chaos zu stiften, während sie nur versuchen herauszufinden, was sie mit ihm tun sollen. Das ist mittlerweile wie ein Fluch. Gibt den Browns eine stabile Situation und sie werden einen Weg finden, sie zu entfachen. Musgraves Verteidigung von Shedeur ist nicht nur leidenschaftlich, sondern auch strategisch. Er sendet eine nicht ganz so subtile Botschaft an Stefanski und vielleicht sogar nach oben an das Front Office. Wenn du nicht erkennst, was direkt vor dir ist das dein Problem. Und die Fans können nicht genug davon bekommen. Denn nichts schreit so sehr nach Clevelands Football wie ein saftiges internes Drama, verpackt in eine Quarterback-Kontroverse. Unterdessen sind die sozialen Medien explodiert. Die Browns-Fans sind gespalten wie eine schlechte Offensive Line. Die Hälfte von ihnen schreit, Shedeur solle sofort anfangen. Die andere Hälfte predigt Geduld, als wäre sie eine Tugend. Aber an diesem Punkt geht es nicht darum, wann Shedeur seine Chance bekommt, sondern darum, wie lange Stefanski seine Entscheidung, ihn zurückzuhalten, noch verteidigen kann. Die Uhr der Geduld tickt laut. Und wieder. Fehlschlag von Dylan Gabriel lässt sie noch lauter widerhallen. Stefanski besteht immer wieder darauf, dass alles Teil eines langfristigen Entwicklungsplans ist. Aber mal ehrlich, die Optik ist brutal. Die Fans wollen keine Theorien oder Zeitpläne. Sie wollen Ergebnisse. Und im Moment ist Shedeur das Ergebnis, das nur darauf wartet einzutreten. Die Browns haben endlich einen Quarterback mit Genauigkeit, Stolz und Selbstvertrauen. Und irgendwie ist es genau dasselbe System, das entwickelt wurde, um ihn zu entwickeln, das ihn zurückhält. Die Ironie könnte nicht größer für Cleveland sein, wenn es sie versuchte. Es ist, als würde man sich einen Ferrari kaufen und sich weigern, ihn zu fahren, weil man Angst hat, viele Kilometer damit zu fahren. Purer Wahnsinn. Und das Lustigste daran: Je mehr sich Stefanski widersetzt, desto größer wird die Legende von Shedeur Sanders. Jeder einzelne Tag, an dem er nicht mit der ersten Mannschaft spielt, wird zu einer weiteren Episode in der Saga vom freien Shedeur. Die eine Seite glaubt an Verdienste, die andere glaubt an das Management. Und genau dazwischen befindet sich ein Rookie-Quarterback, der vielleicht einfach zu gut ist, um ihn noch viel länger auf der Bank zu lassen. Seien wir ehrlich, wenn dein eigener Quarterback-Trainer deine Entscheidungen öffentlich in Frage stellt, ist das nicht normal. Das ist ein direkter Warnschuss. Es ist die Football-Version einer geschäftlichen E-Mail, die mit, wie ich in meiner letzten Nachricht gelesen habe. Weißt du einfach, dass sich Ärger zusammenbraut beginnt. Musgrave hat seinen Mann nicht nur unterstützt, er hat das gesamte Setup um ihn herum entlarvt. Und damit hat er möglicherweise die Lunte für die explosivste Storyline der Browns dieser Saison angezündet. Vergessen wir Siege und Niederlagen für einen Moment. Die eigentliche Frage ist jetzt, ob dieses Trainerteam mit seinen eigenen Egos überleben kann. Die Spannungen in Cleveland sind groß genug, um sie mit einem Playbook zu durchtrennen. Stefanski läuft herum und tut so, als wäre alles ruhig. Aber jeder in der Einrichtung weiß, dass unter der Oberfläche Chaos herrscht. Musgrave bleibt standhaft und beharrlich. Und Shedeur schuftet im Labor härter denn je und verwandelt den Druck in Treibstoff. Währenddessen kreisen die Medien wie Haie, die Blut im Wasser gerochen haben. Jede Schlagzeile, jede heiße Szene, jeder virale Clip heizt den Sturm an. Und mittlerweile ist Clevelands Quarterback-Team nicht mehr nur ein Konkurrenzkampf. Es ist ein regelrechter Machtkampf ohne Unterbrechungen. Es ist nicht mehr nur ein Quarterback-Wettbewerb mehr. Es ist eine ausgewachsene Identitätskrise. Die eigentliche Frage, die sich Cleveland im Moment stellt, ist einfach: Sind die Browns ein Team, das Talent und harte Arbeit belohnt, oder eines, das Bequemlichkeit und Hierarchie schützt? Denn von außen betrachtet sieht es ganz danach aus, als würde Shedeur Sanders dafür bestraft, zu schnell, zu gut zu sein. Und das Verrückteste daran: Das Ende schreibt sich fast von selbst. Bill Musgraves Glaube an Shedeur ist nicht nur eine Frage der Loyalität des Trainers. Es ist ein mutiges Statement an die gesamte Organisation. Er sagt, die Zukunft kommt nicht erst noch. Sie ist bereits da und trägt die Nummer 2. Vielleicht ist Musgraves feuriger Ausbruch genau der Funke, der Stefanski endlich zum Handeln zwingt. Der Vorstoß, der Shedeur die längst überfälligen Spielzeiten in der ersten Mannschaft verschafft und ihn beweisen lässt, was jeder außer Stefanski bereits weiß. Oder vielleicht entwickelt sich das Ganze zu einem Umkleidedrama, wie es nur Cleveland bieten kann. Laut, chaotisch und unvergesslich. Wie auch immer, diese Geschichte ist jetzt schon zu gut, um sie zu ignorieren. Und sie bringt jeden Browns-Fan dazu, sich dieselbe brennende Frage zu stellen. Verfolgt Kevin Stefanski einen Masterplan, oder schützt er nur seinen Stolz? Denn so wie sich diese Spannungen immer weiter aufbauen, wird eines davon scheitern. Und wenn das passiert, wird nur noch das andere bestehen. An diesem Punkt sollte sich Cleveland vielleicht einfach ins Chaos stürzen. Das ist, was sie am besten können. Die Browns haben keine ruhigen Saisons oder reibungslose Handlungsstränge. Sie haben Feuerstürme, Fäden und Schlagzeilen auf den Titelseiten. Und dank Bill Musgrave hat sich das Quarterback-Team gerade zur heißesten und dramatischsten Show im Football entwickelt. Und das ist erst der Anfang.
And it looked like the Cleveland Browns locker room is ready to turn on Kevin Stefanski a day before tomorrow's matchup against the any coach, man. The biggest fear, I feel like, is your team turning on you in locker room drama. Well, I'm here to tell you, insiders and people that is close to the Cleveland Browns football team is letting it be known that is exactly the case that is boiling and brewing in the Cleveland Browns locker room.
Breaking news out of Cleveland. And no, it's not about another factory of sadness. It's spicier than that. Word going around is the Browns locker room is boiling hotter than a Sunday pot roast, and all eyes are on Coach Kevin Stefanski, who might just be hiding something about Shedeur Sanders. The whispers are flying, the tension is thick, and insiders are saying the players are turning on each other faster than Wi-Fi during a thunderstorm. The big question everyone's asking: why isn't Shedeur playing?
It's starting to get real ugly in Cleveland, man. Now there's been an article released about Kevin Stefanski losing the locker room and the veteran players eventually turning their back on the head coach. And we got a lot to unpack. Man, I'm here to tell you, man, the rumor mill is starting to swirl, man. We getting some new information out of Cleveland that the Cleveland Browns veteran players are about to turn their back on Kevin Stefanski. And is he losing control over the locker room? Now, we've seen this whole quarterback situation play out through the draft.
Some guys in that locker room are reportedly furious, saying it's like the team's running a reality show instead of a football program. There's talk of frustration bubbling up so bad, it's about to spill all over the internet. And from what's leaking out, things are messy. Coach Stefanski's right in the middle of it all, taking more heat than the Browns' defense during a blowout. This time, it's not about play calling, not about Deshaun Watson's inconsistency. It's about a rookie quarterback who hasn't even touched the field. And yet somehow, Shedeur Sanders has managed to turn the entire Cleveland facility into the NFL's newest drama series. Imagine that, a player who hasn't thrown a pass, taken a hit, or even laced up in a regular season game, already causing this much noise. What a wild scene. That's Cleveland for you. If there's peace, they'll find a way to start a storm. It's like the city signed a lifetime contract to deliver at least one football circus every fall. Other teams argue over blown coverages or bad play calls, but the Browns, they're out here hosting debates over a rookie who hasn't even touched the turf yet. It's wild. You know your franchise is cursed when the biggest controversy comes from a guy still holding a clipboard.
Is that the veteran players and a lot of these guys in the locker room want Shedeur Sanders to play. They want Shedeur Sanders not only to play, but to start. They do not want Joe Flacco in there. They do not want Dylan Gabriel above Shedeur. These are players that is on the Cleveland Browns team. Because you want to know why? Because if Shedeur play and Shedeur starts, everybody wins. Everybody make more money because now the interest in the team is hotter than every team in the NFL. Ticket sales go up, merchandise sales go up. Just anything with the Cleveland Browns is going to go up if they make this set.
It's like fighting over a birthday cake that's not even out of the oven, and then realizing someone forgot to buy the frosting. But somehow, the whispers just won't die down. Sources say some players are starting to question if Stefanski's lost his grip, his nerve, or maybe even the locker room altogether. And get this, it's not because the offense fell apart or the defense got torched on Sundays. Nope. The uproar is over Shedeur Sanders still standing on the sideline.
You address this sort of persistent narrative that you're trying to sabotage Shedeur Sanders, especially after yesterday and not putting him in for the 2-minute.
Yeah, obviously, I don't concern myself with outside type of things, but I'm committed to his development, just like all of our rookies. So we'll continue to focus on getting our guys better, and that's what we'll stay committed to, and that's what's important.
That's the crime. The tension isn't about film sessions or playbook tweaks. It's about what that empty spot on the field represents to the guys watching him wait. And that's where the real drama kicks in. Patience can look a lot like stubbornness. And in Cleveland, stubbornness burns hotter than gasoline on fire. What started as calm optimism has exploded into full-blown frustration. It's almost poetic how fast this whole thing unraveled. A rookie with swagger walks into the building, dripping confidence like he's born for the spotlight, and suddenly the veterans who've been bleeding for this team start whispering, "He's the one." You'd think the Browns would crave a little peace after all the chaos. But nah, stability doesn't trend. Drama does. Drama sells, distracts, and keeps the group chats buzzing long after the locker room clears out. And now, Shedeur Sanders is right at the center of it all. The new lightning rod for Cleveland's favorite pastime. Chaos with a side of hope.
Shedeur Sanders ended the game. The offensive coordinator must have went to sleep or something. Straight up like that. I don't know what happened, what was going on. Or the receiver coach took over the play calls for the first time in his career. Things changed for the offense when Shedeur Sanders came into that game. All of a sudden, when Shedeur enters the game, the Browns are a pass first team, run second. I sure didn't like the sequence of play calling when Shedeur Sanders entered the game. Pass first, run second. That is never the Cleveland Browns model. And to me, that play calling was done intentionally.
This is the city that worships potential like it's prophecy. The fans are starving for a spark, something that finally feels like destiny after decades of quarterback roulette. Shedeur isn't just a player to them. He's a walking promise. That's why the tension's skyrocketing so fast. He's been cast as the future before he's even taken a hit, and logic? It's been tossed into the locker with the sweaty towels. No one's talking about development or patience anymore. That doesn't go viral. What goes viral is speculation, side eyes, and quarterback controversy.
Is letting it be known, Shedeur ain't sniffing that first team. We should have known that was the way they was gonna keep it when Kenny first went down. When Kenny first went down, they made sure Shedeur didn't get no first rep. Now that was the tone setter. I didn't realize that, and I tried to give it a little leeway, but Kevin ain't studying Shedeur right now. He's not studying Shedeur, so.
And that's the storm Stefanski's stuck in right now. It doesn't matter that Shedeur hasn't faced real NFL pressure yet. It doesn't matter that sitting could help him grow. Because in Cleveland, perception is reality. And reality's now choking under the weight of wild expectations. The Browns didn't need drama, but man, they found it anyway. The Browns have already mastered the art of heartbreak. It's practically part of their DNA. But now, with Shedeur Sanders stepping into the picture, there's a brand new script unfolding. A storyline where a rookie's aura is louder than his resume, and where a head coach's grip on his team feels like it's slipping right through his fingers. And honestly, it's not even shocking anymore. This is Cleveland. Chaos is tradition. NFL locker rooms are fragile ecosystems, full of alpha personalities locked in together day and night.
Unusual play calling when Shedeur is playing. Then I'm thinking he has to get a chance to run this 2-minute drill. He has to get fair play calling, and they have to call plays correctly in this 2-minute drill. There's no way to sabotage this 2-minute drill. Then boom, he snatched out of the game. What logical reason can Kevin Stefanski have for snatching Shedeur Sanders out of the game for the 2-minute drill to put a young man they just signed from off the streets into the 2-minute drill that you 9 times out of 10 probably don't have any chance of him making the team? I was also waiting to see how Dylan Gabriel respond coming back from halftime, but he was snatched and Shedeur was put in with the bogus players. And
these are grown men spending more time with teammates than family, trapped in meetings, film rooms, cafeterias, and wait sessions until the pressure finally makes someone snap. And there's Shedeur Sanders, sitting clean and composed on the bench, while the fans outside are practically losing their minds, begging to see him throw just one NFL pass. It's kind of hilarious when you think about it. Most NFL vets don't even care about social media. Half of them can't reset their Wi-Fi routers without help. But now, suddenly they're glued to their phones like teenagers, scrolling through YouTube highlights and Instagram reels of Shedeur torching college defenses.
Things that Kevin Stefanski is saying and the way he's going about things, some things are just not adding up. And Ryan Clark of ESPN basically exposed Kevin Stefanski this morning on Get Up. He had a very interesting take on Kevin Stefanski's motive. Also, this is all surrounded around naming Joe Flacco QB1 for opening day against Cincinnati. Well, that came to no surprise. Now the big question is, who is your QB?
They're replaying those clips, him dropping 40-yard lasers, flexing on defenders, flashing that icy wristwatch celebration after touchdowns. And once those videos start bouncing around the locker room, the energy shifts fast. You can almost hear the whispers building, spreading from one player to another. Before long, the thoughts planted deep in everyone's mind. Why not let the kid take a shot? The suspense is electric, and the tension, it's only getting louder. The problem is simple. This ain't Colorado anymore, and it sure isn't some random Pac-12 showdown. This is the N.F.L, baby, where rookies meet reality. Shedeur Sanders isn't up against undersized college defenders now. He's facing men with mortgages, bruised ribs, and 40-yard dashes that look straight out of a video game.
If you're a football fan, we clearly know what you did. We clearly know that the plays that you gave for Dylan Gabriel, throwing the check down underneath to make him look good. Same plays for Flacco. Then you throw Shedeur in the game with a tight end whose name ain't even on the roster, and some other players. And then you have them run long routes.
These are defensive ends who sprint like track stars but hit like refrigerators on wheels. One wrong read, and you're tasting turf before you can blink. Still, that buzz in the locker room won't quit. The vets feel it, the young guys feed off it, and soon everyone's whispering the same thing. Maybe he's the one. It doesn't even matter that the jump from Saturdays to Sundays is like going from karaoke night to a sold-out Madison Square Garden concert. The narrative's already written in their heads. Shedeur Sanders equals spark. Spark equals wins. Wins equals salvation. And that's what makes this whole thing so wild. Shedeur hasn't even played yet. Not one snap, not one pass, but somehow he's splitting the room in two. The vets are side-eyeing coaches like they've lost the plot, while the younger guys are quietly hyping up their guy, treating him like the chosen one. The whole vibe feels less like a football team and more like a Netflix reality show. Keeping up with the Browns. You can almost picture it. Black and white confessionals. Defensive tackles mumbling about leadership. Wide receivers saying they need excitement. And linemen shaking their heads like the coach just doesn't get it.
What's happening in the training camp, seen what's happening in practice, and we've seen what's happening in preseason. Now, all camp long, there's reports that was surfacing and people in the media talking about the treatment of Shedeur Sanders and also Dylan Gabriel. But we all know it was heavy against Shedeur Sanders, where there's reports out there that they wasn't giving him an opportunity. They wasn't giving him no reps with the first.
It's not that they hate Stefanski. It's that the hype's gravitational pull is stronger than any game plan. Now, instead of focusing on playbooks and execution, distractions are creeping into every corner of Berea. Guys are watching Shedeur highlights at breakfast, replaying them before practice, and whispering about him in the weight room like it's some secret movement. Once that kind of energy catches fire, no speech or sideline stare can put the genie back in the bottle. The Browns are living in a full-blown spectacle, and the season hasn't even hit halftime. Logic might still be written neatly on Stefanski's clipboard, but inside that locker room, the hype has already won. Shedeur Sanders isn't just buzz, he's a full-on brand. He's got the swagger, the shine, and the Deion Sanders DNA that screams superstardom before he's even suited up. And let's be real, it's not hard to outshine the Browns brand, because for decades, that name's been more of a punchline than a powerhouse. This is the same franchise that once drafted Johnny Manziel like he was a Hollywood leading man instead of a quarterback, and then acted shocked when the whole experiment crashed faster than a viral TikTok trend. You'd think Cleveland learned its lesson about chasing hype, but here they are again, watching the same movie with a new cast.
Stefanski's a hell of a coach. If Stefanski buys in, they buy in together, Stefanski can turn, he's a pocket passer. Stefanski does great with pocket passers. He had Flacco, he had Winston. Them are pocket passers. Watson's not a pocket passer. Stefanski was horrible with Watson. So with Shedeur, if Stefanski put the blinders on and just let the boy cook and be fair about it, it might be a match.
Now, Stefanski's not crazy. He's not about to toss a rookie into the fire just to feed social media's thirst for highlights. But players, they don't see it that way. They're thinking, we're not winning enough. Why not try the kid? It's like having a brand new sports car sitting in your driveway, but still showing up to work in a minivan. Eventually, someone's gonna ask the question, why not take it for a spin? And once that thought hits the locker room, it spreads faster than a group chat rumor. Because here's the truth about NFL locker rooms. It's never just about stats or performance. It's about belief. If enough guys start believing that one player can change everything, that belief becomes contagious. It shifts the mood, the energy, even the chemistry on the field. And right now, that belief belongs to Shedeur Sanders, the rookie who hasn't played a snap but already owns the room. Right now, the Browns' energy feels split straight down the middle. Half the locker room swears Stefanski knows exactly what he's doing, while the other half whispers that he's gatekeeping a superstar. And once a coach starts losing the room, it doesn't matter what's written on the playbook. The season starts to unravel fast. You can feel that tension building like static in the air. Shedeur Sanders is the perfect storm for a situation like this. Young, confident, and dripping with charisma. He's got that celebrity aura, the kind that pulls younger players in like moths to a flame. The vets? Some are flat out tired of the hype, while others can't help but wonder if maybe, just maybe, this kid really is the missing piece. It's messy, it's emotional, and it's classic Cleveland drama at its finest. It's like being asked to pick between pineapple pizza and anchovies. No matter what side you take, somebody's yelling at you. But this whole scene isn't new in the NFL. Just look back at Tim Tebow with the Broncos. The locker room split, fans went wild, and before long, coaches were forced to bow to the hype. The key difference? Tebow actually had that miracle playoff run to back it up. Shedeur hasn't even had his preseason moment yet, but the buzz surrounding him is already bigger. That's how magnetic his presence is. And let's not pretend the Browns are strangers to quarterback chaos. This franchise has burned through quarterbacks like people burn through phone chargers.
Stefanski says we don't, here it is, Ocho. Here's Kevin Stefanski not letting Shedeur run the 2-minute drill at the end of the game with the Browns. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Kevin, it was obviously a bit of a rough second half for Shedeur and the entire Browns offense, but why didn't you keep him in for the 2-minute drill? Why did you decide to put Tyler in?
Yeah, obviously we didn't play great as an offense in the second half. That's never on one person. So we can be better in a bunch of areas. And just felt like we wanted to get.
Every few years, it's the same tired script. A new savior shows up, the hype machine goes into overdrive, and by Thanksgiving, everyone's already debating who the next savior should be. Shedeur Sanders is just the latest name in Cleveland's endless cycle of quarterback roulette. And if you listen closely, you can almost hear the frustration rumbling through the team, a mix of envy, hope, and pure exhaustion. These players are out there busting their bodies every week, grinding for every inch, every win. And from their perspective, the guy who could bring that extra spark is just standing on the sideline holding a clipboard. To them, that's wasted opportunity. But to Kevin Stefanski, it's strategy, it's patience and discipline. Two completely different realities colliding inside one locker room, and the tension is thick enough to cut with a helmet. What makes it all even crazier is that the Browns actually don't need more chaos right now, but somehow they keep finding it anyway. Add in the noise from the outside world, and it's a full-blown storm. Fans are already chanting Shedeur like he's the second coming of football royalty. Social media is packed with flashy highlight edits, half of them made by teenagers who couldn't name 3 Browns players if you asked them. But that doesn't matter. The hype machine's spinning nonstop, and the media's eating it up because nothing sells clicks faster than a quarterback controversy. And the players? They're not robots. They see it, they hear it, and sooner or later, some start to believe it. That's how locker rooms start to crack. Coaches can survive bad play calls or tough losses, but once the players stop believing in you, once they think you're the problem standing in the way of progress, it's game over. You can bet Stefanski feels that heat right now. Even if he's making the right football decision, perception has already taken over reality. And the perception is brutal, that he's the one blocking Shedeur Sanders' rise to the throne. The spotlight's on him whether he likes it or not. So what happens next? Does Stefanski cave to the pressure and unleash the rookie to quiet the noise? Or does he double down, hold his ground, and risk losing the locker room completely? Either way, it's a lose-lose situation. If he plays Shedeur too early, he risks breaking the kid before he's ready. If he waits too long, he risks breaking the team. It's like juggling knives while blindfolded. And right now, every wrong move cuts a little deeper. You can shine for a moment, but sooner or later, something sharp is bound to drop. And that's where the Browns always end up, teetering on the edge of greatness, only to slip on their own banana peel of chaos. Shedeur Sanders might be the future they've been dreaming of, or he might just become another heartbreaking chapter in the team's endless quarterback saga. Because if history has taught us anything, it's that the Browns can't just play football. They've got to turn it into a full-blown soap opera. And this year's storyline? Oh, it's crystal clear. Shedeur Sanders versus Kevin Stefanski, One represents the flash, the hype, the promise of a fresh era. The other stands for patience, control, and old-school discipline. And stuck in the middle? A locker room split down the middle, picking sides like they're in the middle of a messy family feud? You can feel the tension humming under every conversation, every practice, every headline. One thing's for sure, no matter how this story unfolds, it's going to be peak Browns. Chaos, controversy, and pure entertainment. Cleveland wouldn't have it any other way. So keep your eyes on this circus, because it's far from over. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, because this saga's just getting started, and you won't want to miss what comes next.
Everybody's having a great day today as we get prepared for another Shedeur Sanders saga.
The Cleveland Browns front office is straight up in chaos right now. Word on the street is that ownership is furious with how Kevin Stefanski handled the whole Shedeur Sanders injury mess. And things are getting ugly fast.
People was clueless and pretty much saying that the young man was not hurt. He's hurt, guys. He would not be faking an injury like this. He will not be missing his reps. And for people to even say that narrative is mind-boggling to me. It's what it is. But with all of that being said, we got an update from Kevin Stefanski talking about Shedeur and pretty much the process is going to take for him to get back. Let's
While Stefanski's out here acting calm and collected in press conferences, behind closed doors, it's a totally different vibe. What's going down might shock you. We're talking about whispers of a coaching shakeup so big, it could rock the entire NFL. All this heat started over how the rookie's oblique injury was handled, and the fallout is wild. The pressure's building by the day. Fans are losing patience, and when Browns ownership starts digging for answers, somebody's job is on the line. Word is, heads could roll any minute now. What's good, everybody? We got another explosive Browns update that's got Cleveland spiraling into full-blown meltdown mode. And if you thought the Deshaun Watson drama was messy, wait till you hear what's cooking behind the scenes between Stefanski and this Shedeur Sanders injury saga. Here's what nobody's daring to say out loud. Fans are livid. They're calling for Stefanski's job after his post-game comments on Shedeur's condition, which only poured gasoline on an already raging fire. That viral clip from practice where Shedeur's tossing the ball, then suddenly grabs his side in pain, that wasn't no minor tweak. That was real pain from a quarterback fighting through something serious.
We want to see Shedeur again this weekend, right? I want to see that story. He was making things real interesting there in Cleveland. But man, like oblique injury, I know we've talked a little bit in the past. Oblique injury is tough for a quarterback. It's not the type of thing that you're just going to go, oh, I'll be okay in a few days. I mean, I'd be, of course, there's no way he's playing this weekend, I would think. And then what I would worry about is preseason game number 3, whether he can play then as well, right? And it's an issue. Again, as we talk about throwing the ball, the torque of the up.
But here's where it gets even juicier. Insiders say Browns ownership is furious. They feel the entire situation's been botched from top to bottom, and patience is wearing thin. The walls are closing in on Stefanski, and this could be the scandal that blows the doors wide open in Cleveland. Think about it for a second. You finally land a generational talent, a once-in-a-decade quarterback that brings hope back to a city that's been starving for a real contender, and what happens next? Your coaching staff can't even keep him healthy in practice. That's not just bad luck. That's pure incompetence, running from the sidelines, straight up to the front office. The fans are heated, and they've got every reason to be. After years of heartbreak and false promises, Cleveland thought they finally had their guy, and now this mess? It's embarrassing. Let's break this whole situation down because Kevin Stefanski's explanation doesn't make sense at all. He said, he felt it early, warming up, and then felt it throughout individuals. Excuse me? Any halfway decent coaching staff would be watching their rookie quarterback like a hawk, especially one carrying this much hype and expectation. But somehow, Stefanski and his team let him keep throwing through the pain until he literally had to shut it down completely. That's not being cautious. That's negligence in plain sight. And then listen to how Stefanski tried to play it off.
Yeah, felt it early, I think warming up, and felt it throughout individuals who took a look at it. If it's a right guard, you can play through that. When it's a quarterback, you kind of need that muscle to throw. So unfortunately, I'm going to put him down for a little bit here. We'll treat it day to day and see how it responds. But I want to be smart because he can throw, so you can't push that thing.
It's such a critical point in your evaluation of these quarterbacks. How does it affect your evaluation of the quarterbacks?
Yeah, listen, injuries stink for all these guys. They don't want to miss a rep for any reason, Tony, but there's a way to continue to prepare, continue to get better, even when you're not getting the reps because of injuries.
It's an oblique, I mean, a lot like a hamstring. Is that one of those injuries that, I mean, it gets a little tricky to...
I think it's just with throwers and pitchers and guys that tour.
We'll treat it day to day and see how he responds, but want to be smart because he's a thrower. Day to day? Come on, bro. Oblique injuries are no joke for quarterbacks. That's your whole rotation, your torque, your accuracy. The fact he brushed it off so casually tells you everything you need to know about how disconnected this staff is from reality. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Stefanski and his staff pushed Shedeur too hard, too fast. They're out here trying to juggle 4 quarterbacks when they can barely keep 2 healthy. Dillon Gabriel's got a hamstring flare-up. Kenny Pickett's been struggling with his own issues. And now Shedeur's sidelined with an oblique strain that could have been avoided. That's not player development. That's a full-blown disaster disguised as a training camp. This isn't bad luck anymore. It's dysfunction at its finest. And Cleveland's patience is running out fast. And here's the real kicker that nobody's connecting yet. Browns ownership isn't just mad, they're furious. These aren't the kind of owners who sit quietly in the background. They've got their hands deep in football decisions, and right now, they're watching everything unravel in front of them. Jimmy Haslam didn't pour millions into building this quarterback room just to watch Kevin Stefanski turn it into a rehab clinic. This is supposed to be an investment, not a cautionary tale about what not to do with young talent. You want to know why ownership's boiling? Because they're looking around the league, seeing other rookie quarterbacks getting real development, and they're embarrassed by comparison. Caleb Williams is out there lighting it up in Chicago, like he's been in the league for years. Jaden Daniels is turning heads in Washington, showing flashes of brilliance that have fans buzzing. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders, the guy Cleveland hyped as NFL ready from day one, is stuck on the sideline clutching his side. It's not just bad luck anymore. It's a failure in leadership, plain and simple. And Stefanski made it worse with his own mouth. When reporters asked him about the evaluation process, he practically admitted he can't properly assess the quarterbacks because of the injuries. Injuries stink for all these guys. They don't want to miss a rep for any reason, he said. Seriously? Maybe if your training staff was actually paying attention, these guys wouldn't be missing reps left and right. Fans are seeing right through that excuse. It sounds weak, like someone trying to cover his tracks while the team falls apart. Let's be real. Stefanski's seat was already sizzling after last season's mess. The Browns barely kept their GM, Andrew Berry, from getting axed. And that only happened because Stefanski convinced ownership there was a bigger plan in motion. But now, that plan's falling apart fast, and the pressure heading into the 2025 season is unbearable.
In week 2 and week 3 of the preseason, it creates a groundswell of fan demand to flip it. And if he's not going to play this weekend, then I think it's going to be hard to derail Joe Flacco being the week 1 starter. So they're acting as if he's going to be. They kept him in bubble wrap.
He saved Barry's job last time. But who's going to save his when the results just don't match the hype? And then there's the fans. Oh, they're loud about this one. Social media's flooded with calls to make Shedeur Sanders QB1 now. After that preseason opener against Carolina, where Shedeur went 14 for 23 with 138 yards and 2 touchdowns, the city lit up. Fans saw a spark, a taste of what could be the future of Cleveland football. And now they're begging to see more, not less. They don't want to watch their young star rot on the bench nursing preventable injuries, while the team plays it safe with veterans. But here's what's really eating at the Browns' ownership. They know they've got something rare on their hands with Shedeur. This isn't just another rookie draft pick. This is their potential franchise quarterback for the next decade. A name that could define the next era of Browns football. And instead of protecting that investment, Stefanski's system is wearing him down before he even gets started. The optics are awful. Joe Flacco, a 40-year-old vet, is staying healthier than your 22-year-old phenom. How's that supposed to make the organization look? It's not just embarrassing, it's unacceptable, and the walls around Stefanski's job are closing in fast. You've got Dillon Gabriel and Kenny Pickett both fighting through soft tissue injuries, and now Shedeur Sanders is sidelined with an oblique strain that could linger for weeks if it's not treated right. That's not bad luck. That's straight-up organizational failure. Something's broken inside the Browns system and everyone knows it. But here's the twist that's got fans really fired up. Kevin Stefanski didn't just fumble the injury management, he intentionally slowed down the Shedeur Sanders hype train right when the fans were ready to ride at full speed ahead. The timing couldn't be worse. Just as Cleveland was buzzing, just as people started believing this might finally be the turning point, Stefanski slammed the brakes. And why? Because he's more worried about controlling the narrative than letting his young star shine. He's playing it safe when he should be unleashing talent. Ownership's watching all this unfold, asking one big question that could define the entire franchise. Is Kevin Stefanski really the right coach to develop our future? Let's be real. If you can't keep your quarterbacks healthy and you can't create a competitive atmosphere without players getting banged up every week, then what exactly are you offering as a head coach? This is the N.F.L., not a rehab clinic. And to make things worse, the Browns' upcoming schedule looks brutal. They're about to run headfirst into some of the toughest defenses in the league: the Bengals, Ravens, Lions, and Vikings. Those aren't teams you want to face with a banged-up roster and a confused quarterback rotation. But thanks to Stefanski's shaky decisions, that's exactly where Cleveland's heading. The irony here is wild. Stefanski was supposed to be the quarterback whisperer, the calm, calculated genius who could develop talent and turn prospects into stars. But where's the proof? He inherited a team stacked with playoff-level talent and managed to squeeze out one good season. One. Since then, it's been a cycle of disappointment, excuses, and regression. Every year, the same story plays out: hope, hype, collapse. And now, instead of protecting the future, he's putting it at risk. Shedeur Sanders was meant to be the fresh start, the spark to reignite this franchise. But under Stefanski's watch, that spark's being smothered before it can even catch fire. Sources close to the organization are already saying ownership is not buying what Kevin's selling anymore. Behind closed doors, the mood's turning cold, and the whispers are getting louder. They're asking hard questions, the kind that don't end with second chances. Because if Stefanski can't prove he can lead and protect the future, Cleveland might just decide it's time to find someone who can. Questions are flying all over the place right now inside the Browns building, and they're the kind of questions that make people sweat. Why can't this team keep their quarterbacks healthy? Why does the training staff always look one step behind when it comes to handling young talent? And the biggest one of all, is Kevin Stefanski really the right man to lead this franchise into the future? These aren't casual conversations anymore. They're serious talks happening in real time, with jobs hanging in the balance. But here's where it gets really interesting. Despite all the chaos, all the noise, and all the injuries, Shedeur Sanders is proving that he belongs. Even with Stefanski trying to control the hype and downplay expectations, Shedeur's performance against Carolina spoke volumes. That wasn't luck. That was pure, undeniable talent shining through in limited snaps. He looked poised, confident, and ready, and you could see it in how the offense came alive whenever he was under center. This is the part that's making fans furious and ownership uneasy. They know this kid's the real deal, and yet he's being handled like a backup project instead of the future face of the franchise. The Browns' front office didn't draft Shedeur as some long-term rebuild piece. They drafted him because he was NFL ready. They wanted him to push for the starting job right away, not sit in team meetings watching his oblique heal, while the same old mistakes get repeated week after week. And let's be honest, the Cleveland fan base is done with excuses. They've seen this movie too many times. Young quarterbacks hyped up, then broken down by bad management and bad luck. From Couch to Manziel to Mayfield, it's the same heartbreak on repeat. They thought Shedeur would be different, the one to flip the script and change the culture. But instead, it's starting to look like the same old Browns dysfunction, just wearing a new jersey. And it's not just the fans anymore. The pressure is closing in from every direction. The media's beginning to circle, digging deeper into Stefanski's decisions and calling out inconsistencies in his messaging. Reporters are asking tougher questions at every press conference, and his answers aren't cutting it. Meanwhile, players inside that locker room are watching closely too. They're wondering whether this coaching staff can actually develop talent or if it's just going to be another wasted opportunity. When the players start losing faith, that's when things really start to fall apart. Ownership sees it too. Behind closed doors, the message is clear. We gave you Joe Flacco as a veteran safety net. We gave you multiple draft picks to build depth. We built a competitive quarterback room, and somehow, it's still falling apart. That's the energy in those meetings. Frustration and disbelief. At some point, you can't keep blaming bad luck. The oblique injury isn't an isolated issue. It's a symptom of a bigger problem. This is about preparation, or lack of it. The Browns have the talent, the resources, and the fan support. What they don't have is consistency and leadership at the top. And if Kevin Stefanski can't fix that fast, ownership might just decide the solution starts with replacing him. Conditioning and smart management of valuable assets. That's what separates winning franchises from chaotic ones. When you've got a young quarterback who could be worth hundreds of millions to your team's future, you don't take unnecessary risks with his health in meaningless practices. You protect that investment like it's gold. But here's what's driving Browns fans crazy. Shedeur Sanders isn't just any player. This kid's built different. He's tough as nails. Back in Colorado, he took hits that would have rattled most players, and he kept getting up. He's not afraid of contact, he's not scared of the spotlight, and mentally, he's already wired for the N.F.L. grind. So when an injury like this happens, an oblique strain during routine practice, fans aren't buying the bad luck excuse anymore. It raises serious questions about what's happening behind the scenes. The training methods, the conditioning plans, the recovery schedules, all of it. Something clearly isn't adding up. What makes it even worse is Stefanski's approach. While he's out here giving the same recycled line, we're taking it day to day. We don't want to rush anything. Other teams are getting results. Look at Chicago. They're letting Caleb Williams get real game reps and confidence. Washington's doing the same with Jaden Daniels, letting him take control and learn on the fly. But in Cleveland, they're treating their first-round pick like he's made of glass, and it's driving everyone insane. This overly cautious, scared style of coaching isn't leadership. It's hesitation. And Browns ownership sees it plain as day. They didn't invest millions of dollars in this quarterback room just to sit on their hands while opportunities slip away. They wanted a system that builds momentum, not one that stalls it every time someone gets a bruise. You can't build a championship culture around fear, and that's exactly what Stefanski's showing right now. Fear of losing, fear of risk, fear of accountability. Here's the harsh truth that ownership is staring down. Kevin Stefanski's had 5 years to prove he's the right guy for this job. 5 seasons of chances to develop quarterbacks and build something sustainable. And what's he got to show for it? 1 playoff appearance, multiple quarterback controversies, and now his most promising rookie is injured before the regular season even kicks off. The frustration in Cleveland is boiling over. The fans are angry, the locker room's losing confidence, and the front office is done, waiting for things to click. The whispers around Berea are getting louder by the day. Whispers about a fresh start, about finding someone who can actually maximize the talent they've invested in, not waste it with poor conditioning and scared decision-making. If things don't turn around fast, those whispers won't stay whispers for long. They'll turn into a headline. Cleveland Browns move on from Kevin Stefanski. And at this point, that headline might be closer than anyone thinks. The Browns need someone who truly gets it. Someone who understands that player development and health management go hand in hand. You can't build a winning culture if your best players are constantly limping through practice or sitting in the training room. But let me tell you what still gives me hope for Shedeur Sanders. This kid's built different. No matter what chaos is swirling around him, Shedeur's got the mental toughness to rise above it all. He's been under pressure his entire life, growing up in the spotlight, carrying expectations that would have broken most players. And still, every step of the way, he's delivered. High school, college, now the pros, he's proven he belongs at every level. One oblique injury isn't stopping that kind of drive. It's just a speed bump for a quarterback who's destined for greatness. Shedeur's got the focus, the discipline, and the fire to turn this setback into fuel. And that's what separates stars from legends. But here's the question that's got the whole city talking. Will the organization match that same energy? Will the Browns finally get serious about building the right structure around this kid? Or are they going to keep repeating the same mistakes that have haunted this franchise for decades? Because no matter how talented Shedeur is, no player can thrive in a system that's broken from the inside. If that means ownership has to make some tough decisions about the coaching staff, then maybe it's time they stop making excuses and start making moves. Here's the cold truth. Every Browns fan already knows deep down. Talent without proper development is wasted potential. And Cleveland has wasted enough potential to last a lifetime. This city's been through heartbreak after heartbreak, watching promising players fade away under bad management and worse leadership. They finally have a shot at something special, a quarterback who could redefine the franchise, and they can't afford to blow it again? So the question stands, is Kevin Stefanski really sitting on the hot seat this time, or is this just another round of typical Cleveland drama? Because if ownership doesn't act soon, fans won't be asking. They'll be demanding change. So here's the million-dollar question. Are the Cleveland Browns finally ready to make the tough calls it takes to become a real championship organization? Or are they going to keep spinning in the same tired cycle that's kept this franchise stuck in mediocrity for decades? Fans are fed up with excuses. They want action. And then there's the heart of the story. Do you believe Shedeur Sanders has the grit to bounce back from this injury and still rise as the franchise quarterback Cleveland's been dreaming about? Because if there's one thing we've learned about Shedeur, it's that he doesn't fold under pressure. He fights through it. But at the same time, you can't help but wonder, is this the start of another Browns quarterback controversy waiting to explode? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Browns ownership should finally pull the trigger and move on from Kevin Stefanski? Or should they give him one more shot to prove he can turn this chaos into something real before it's too late? The fans are split, the media is watching closely, and the tension around this team is reaching its breaking point. This situation is evolving by the minute, and trust me, I'll be bringing you every wild twist and shocking update as it drops. So if you want to stay locked in on all the Browns drama, insider scoops, and behind-the-scenes heat, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and turn on those notifications. Cleveland's about to make some big moves, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. This story's just getting started, and it's about to get crazy.
Quarterback in the room. I have a PhD in quarterbacking, and I say it here loud and clear. Nobody knows quarterback play like me. I don't give a damn what nobody say, because I done played with a bunch of them. 14. He's better than Dylan Gabriel. He's better than Kenny Pickett. He's better than an old Joe Flacco that's going to give you 3-4 games but can't give you 17. He's better than that. It's a valid point. And Deshaun Watson is, he's rehabbing, so he's out in the back room somewhere.
Patrick Mahomes just said the quiet part out loud, and the whole internet lost its mind. The golden boy of the NFL dropped a bomb about Shedeur Sanders, and now the haters are spiraling, crying, scheming. You'd think he just crowned Shedeur the next GOAT, and honestly, maybe he did.
Thinking of this more long term. He's thinking of it being more comfortable in his skin, coming out being like, hey, look, I'm going to work on my game. I could be doing a lot of other things right now. I could be running around drag racing or doing whatever I need to do or being in, buying clothes or something. But a couple of days before we're ready to lock and load, I think it's dope that he out there in the middle of the night in the rain, throwing the football, working on his game with the Browns helmet on, letting people know I'm out here representing for the whole city. I'm representing. I like the fact that he's energetically proud to have the Browns.
This shout out didn't just shake social media, it set it on fire. Is Mahomes predicting the future, or is he just throwing a little gasoline on the drama? Either way, you gotta see what went down. Subscribe if you believe Shedeur should already be a starting quarterback. While most QBs are somewhere tanning, sipping cocktails, and living soft, Shedeur's out here locked in. No beach selfies, no grind never stops quotes from some Bali resort. He's in the lab like his career depends on it, because to him, it does. This man moves like he just got the keys to $1 billion franchise, and the season kicks off tomorrow. Shedeur ain't training, he's transforming. Every throw, every rep, every drill is a statement. He's slicing through every lazy doubt, tossed his way with passes so clean, they look scripted. His footwork? It's like choreography straight out of a Beyoncé tour rehearsal. This isn't some casual summer sweat session. This is a warning shot to the league. Shedeur Sanders isn't waiting for his time. He's taking it. And guess what? The haters are losing their minds again. Every clip, every throw, every snap from Shedeur Sanders is making their excuses sound weaker by the day.
Offense is so explosive because these are serious, big-time, top-of-the-line playmakers that they have. If you can go 45-42 in the fourth quarter because your quarterback set the school record with 510 yards passing. He was flawless. Shedeur is big-time. I didn't know for sure, will it translate to the next level of competition? Yes, it might translate to the next level of competition as he can play on Sunday.
These are the same people who spent all last season screaming, he's just hype, and now they're watching him rewrite their whole story, one perfect spiral at a time. The salt levels are off the charts. All those tired talking points, gone. He's just Deion's kid. Deleted. He only shines against weak teams. Obliterated. He won't put in the off-season work. Please. This man's out there before sunrise, launching missiles while other quarterbacks are arguing over which yacht to rent for their mental reset.
Shedeur is kind of a unique quarterback because obviously his dad is a Hall of Famer, and he's come into the NFL with a little bit of a celebrity status that we don't typically see in quarterbacks. Does that present, do you have to evaluate him in a different sense?
Like I mentioned before, he's been raised the right way. He's got a great way about him. Obviously, when you're the son of a Hall of Famer, there's a lot that goes with that. I think the benefits of that have been really impressive for him. I think you see a young man that understands what comes with this job, understands the work that goes into this job. So I'd say it's been a very...
Shedeur isn't chasing waves, he's creating them. Right now, he's living rent-free in every defensive back's head. The offseason was supposed to be quiet, chill, a break from all the hype. But Shedeur refused to fade out. Every time fans tried to move on, boom, another video drops of him lasering a 50-yard dime like it's a warm-up throw. You could almost hear the haters combusting across the country. Laptops flying, phones dropping, timelines melting. And then comes the real chaos. Mahomes himself showing love. The face of the NFL cosigns Shedeur. And suddenly, the internet starts twitching. What now? You gonna tell Mahomes he doesn't know football? Didn't think so. The panic was instant. You could hear keyboards crying in pain, fans typing essays to cope. But here's the wild truth. Shedeur hasn't even taken an NFL snap yet, and the ones who have, they're watching him. They're taking notes, because there's something different about the way he moves, the way he carries himself, like he already knows he belongs. It's that dangerous mix of discipline, swagger, and just enough pettiness to make it entertaining.
Look, he's worked his tail off. You know, he's really putting a lot of work, as all those guys are. But you could tell on the mental side of the game and learning the system and calling it and having that rhythm to it. You know, he's put a lot of work and time and effort into that. And then when you do that, the game starts to slow down and you can focus on finding completions. And he's done a nice job of that as camp's progressed.
At this point, can you realistically see any one of these four guys winning this job?
I mean, yeah, you can see them all winning the job, I think, right? And so in terms of the competition, we're so early in the process. We're so early in evaluating it. But, yeah, I think, you know, we have a good group of guys that are continuing to push one another. And by the time...
Shedeur Sanders isn't here to blend in. He's rewriting the entire playbook on what swagger in football looks like and daring anyone to step up and say something. He pulled up to camp looking like a billion-dollar brand, not some wide-eyed rookie just happy to be here. Nah, Shedeur walked in like he already owned the franchise, confidence shining like his chain. And the craziest part, he doesn't even have to talk. The silence alone is power. The same folks who laughed when he called himself the best are now zooming in on every frame of training footage like FBI analysts. His elbow angle was off by 2 degrees. Bro, relax, that man's throwing dots. The desperation is hilarious. While critics are busy nitpicking, Shedeur's skipping vacations and clocking in for greatness. The man's allergic to mediocrity. No beach chairs, no frozen drinks, just straight grind.
Shedeur Sanders should clearly be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns this year, and any other result would absolutely be laughable. Steele Dorsey, quick Culligan water cooler talk here. Why the hell are the Browns having a quarterback competition anyway? Like, wouldn't the best case scenario be start Shedeur for 17 games, you get ticket prices that go up, you get to see if he's a good quarterback or not, and if he's bad, you got 2 picks in the first round next year, and you get another stab at your franchise quarterback. But what if he's good? And you finally solved the #1 position in all of sports? It's the ultimate win-win. It's good for us, it's good for y'all, and at the end of the day, who wouldn't want to see a little Shedeur?
Watching this transformation is wild. Last year, he was the flashy kid with the Raleigh, the luxury car, and a confidence people thought was arrogance. Now, that same energy got folks shook. He's become the nightmare every defensive coordinator's losing sleep over. It's like a movie twist nobody expected, but looking back, it's obvious. Of course he was gonna evolve. Of course he was gonna outwork everyone. When your dad's prime time, failure doesn't even exist in your vocabulary. This man was raised around greatness. It's in his DNA. And now, every other quarterback better tighten that chin strap because this ain't your usual off-season glow-up story. Shedeur isn't waiting for a turn. He's kicking the door down before anyone even realizes he's inside.
Shedeur Sanders confirmed on this very vlog where he is going in this NFL draft. I honestly think he can get this team back to the golden age. Let's talk about possible scenarios. With the Tennessee Titans needing a starting quarterback and them likely drafting Cam Ward, let's be honest, he's the better prospect. The earliest team to draft Shedeur Sanders would be the New York Giants. NFL fans don't think this could happen. Why? They just added not one, but two veteran quarterbacks. One being Jameis Winston, the other being Russell Wilson. It seems like the quarterback...
He's not following the path. He's paving it. While other rookies chase social media followers and sponsorship deals, he's locked in perfecting ball placement, precision, and poise. Shedeur's not aiming for a roster spot. He's plotting a takeover. Every throw, every drop of sweat, every rep is him saying loud and clear, "You really thought I was just a backup? Watch me." The jealousy is dripping everywhere. You can feel it oozing through the comment sections. Shedeur's game has evolved so fast, it's got critics gasping for air. In just a few months, he's gone from promising to problematic for every quarterback who thought they had a safe spot. He's not just checking boxes, he's lighting them on fire and walking away without even looking back.
And whether it's a following that he's earned, I mean, that's something that he's done a great job of interacting with fans. And but he is a great kid. You guys will get to know him more. He's working like crazy, just like all the guys. He's another young man. These rookies, you know, my office is downstairs. As they got to walk by my office as they come in. They come in early. And Shedeur, just like all those guys, he's in there early. He's getting his work done. So he's working really hard. I like it.
What's really burning people up is how effortless he makes it all look. Too clean, too smooth, too him. That scares the ones who used to clown him, because if Shedeur keeps this energy rolling into draft season, a whole bunch of teams are about to look real foolish for doubting him. And the best part? He knows it. Every laser throw in practice, every perfect bomb in drills, every calm look that screams, "Told you so," it's all part of the show. Shedeur isn't training to survive the NFL. He's prepping to run it. Swagger and skill, flash and focus. He's the full package, and it's driving people crazy.
Okay, because he did play for Colorado. Without him, what does Colorado do? Without him. And I look at it like that, like, yeah, they may have played okay competition, but for what they did do without him, they might, I could see them being a 0 or a 1
maybe
a 2 you know what I mean? Like, he did go 4, then go 9 with a team that, I'm being honest, I played at SC. How did we think about Colorado? Stat game, like, feel me? Like, you know what I mean? He literally he took them from uncompetitive to competitive. Okay, I'll watch this call.
And now the shift is happening. Slow, painful, hilarious. The same folks who said he'd never get past QB3 are suddenly backpedaling, praying nobody screenshots their old tweets. Their takes are aging like milk left out in July, and it's glorious. Shedeur's out here writing poetry with his passes. It's chaotic, beautiful, and a little scary. QB1 isn't just a dream anymore. It's destiny in motion. His supporters already know what time it is. They're clearing their Sunday schedules, picturing that first NFL start, chanting his name like he's already under the bright lights. They've seen the arm strength, the control, the ice-cold composure. They're not asking if he's ready. They're asking why it's still a debate. But of course, the haters stay on payroll. Like seasonal allergies or that coworker who microwaves fish at the office, they just keep showing up, loud and useless.
I think this kid, Shedeur, I think this kid is going to rise to the top. And by somewhere middle of the season, I think this kid is going to be our starting quarterback.
How have you, sensed the whole Shedeur sort of celebrity and aura that kind of follows him around, and what impact does that have on anything?
I don't know if it has an impact on much, but Shedeur's been great. I mean, he's a lot of fun to be around in those meeting rooms, and I think so far there's been, at least once in the meeting room that he's made me.
He's just riding the hype, they cry. He hasn't faced real NFL pressure, yeah? Keep talking, because while they complain, Shedeur's turning every doubt into motivation and every throw into a highlight reel. Let's not get too excited, but let's be real. These are the same folks who've crowned quarterbacks future Hall of Famers just for surviving a flashy pro day and running a few cute cone drills. But when it comes to Shedeur, suddenly the standards skyrocket. Apparently, Being confident, stylish, and actually talented all at once sets off alarms for people who can't handle swagger and skill in the same body.
I think Sanders will be the first quarterback picked off the board. He should be. In the film that I've seen of a lot of the top guys, I think he's an excellent thrower. You can't really confuse him. I've seen a lot of different teams try to manipulate coverage and disguise, and he does a really good job pre-snap to post-snap. And he can make all the throws and has a lot of guys to throw the football to.
It's like a fire drill in a library. Panic everywhere. But here's the plot twist. Their excuses are running out faster than their Wi-Fi. Shedeur's game tape is spinning laps around their weak takes, and the same crusty analysts who used to treat his name like a typo are now backpedaling so hard they might pull a hamstring. One by one, they're switching up like, wait, maybe this kid really can sling it. Maybe he's calm under pressure. Maybe he's not a sideshow. Yeah, no kidding. Now they're acting like they've always been fans. It's hilarious, like watching someone try to unsend a tweet after getting exposed. Oh, that's Shedeur? Yeah, we always believed in him. Please, this is the same guy they said peaked in college, the same one dropping laser beams while they were typing up hit pieces. Shedeur's been reading defenses like open book quizzes and rewriting scouting reports without saying a word. He never needed their approval, but now that he's got it, he might as well frame it on his wall just for laughs. The Shedeur effect isn't just a social media buzzword anymore. It's a real, uncomfortable truth haunting film rooms and boardrooms across the league.
Great feel for this young man. He's a very, very hard worker. He has fun when he's in the building. I'm enjoying watching him progress with every single meeting, with every single rep. He's doing a great job. And I think as a young player, I don't care what position you're playing, you're going to run a play or you're going to get something wrong. That's so valuable because then you get to correct it, get it right the next time. And he's doing a really, really nice job. I think he's showing up early, he's staying late, and he continues to get better every single day. And that's the fun part. But just having him in the meeting room brings a great personality in there. It's fun to have. I sit right behind him. Joe is to my left, to Shedeur's left, and to see those two bounce ideas.
Coaches are watching his tape and realizing their safe quarterback pick looks like he's buffering on the field, while Shedeur is out here launching rockets. You can see it in their faces, that dawning panic when they realize they underestimated the wrong guy. The Shedeur effect isn't hype anymore. It's history being written right in front of them, and Shedeur knows exactly what's going on. That's the coldest part. He's not clueless, and he's definitely not out here bragging for clout. He sees the shift happening. He hears the chatter. But instead of wasting time clapping back, he just grins and drops another perfect pass that makes defensive backs question their entire career path. This ain't no underdog fairy tale anymore. This is domination in real time. There's no off switch, no warm-up phase, no ease him in slowly. Every throw, every audible, every snap is a message. Give that man the ball. Shedeur's not begging for a shot. He's demanding it through pure performance. And his fans, they've had enough of the waiting game. They're ready to raise hell if he's not QB 1 by week 1. They don't want to hear any more corporate coach talk about earning it slowly or learning behind the vets. Nah, this isn't a loyalty program, it's football, and results speak louder than politics. If the best player on the field is still being held back, someone better start explaining, with stats, film, pie charts, and maybe even a lie detector test. Because the locker room sees it too. Players know who's working hardest, who's elevating the energy just by stepping into the huddle. And right now, Shedeur's presence alone is changing the entire atmosphere. He's not just fighting for a roster spot, he's redefining what leadership looks like before even taking a pro snap. The backups are sweating, the starters are locked in, and coaches are starting to realize this kid isn't a project, he's the spark. When your rookie walks in acting like a 10-year vet with something to prove, everyone else has two choices, step up or step aside. That right there, that's leadership. That's the full-on Shedeur effect in motion. And the wildest part? The louder the critics get, the calmer he becomes. He doesn't flinch, doesn't rant online, doesn't even blink. He just keeps bawling out like nothing else exists. While the haters spiral on social media, Shedeur's out there making silence look powerful. You can see the desperation from miles away. Haters digging through film clips like bargain hunters at a garage sale, praying to find the tiniest flaw they can spin into a headline. His follow-through looked weird. That pass was 1 inch too high. Please, at this point, they're trying to take down a skyscraper with a butter knife. Shedeur's game is solid top to bottom, and denying him the starting spot would be pure comedy, like performance art for people who love losing. Let's bench the guy who's clearly the most prepared and pretend it's part of the plan. Yeah, good luck selling that one. Because the moment the offense starts to stall and cameras pan over to Shedeur on the sidelines, pacing, focused, that look in his eyes saying, "Put me in and watch magic happen," it's game over. Fans will explode, commentators will choke on their takes, and somebody in the front office is gonna start quietly updating their resume. And the haters? Deep down, they already know what's coming. That inevitable moment when the coaching staff finally admits the obvious. He's ready. And once that happens, once Shedeur takes the reins, it's a wrap. There's no going back, no sharing snaps, no rotation nonsense. He's not a temporary fix or a filler guy. He's the kind of quarterback that makes teams rip up the old playbook and rebuild the entire offense around him. When Shedeur steps in, the whole energy shifts, and the league better be ready because he's not giving that spot back to anyone. He's that guy, the one everyone tries to doubt until it's way too late. Watch how the haters switch up their script next. Well, let's see if he can keep it consistent. Spoiler alert, he will. Meanwhile, fans won't even hear the noise over the chants echoing through stadiums, rocking his number on their backs like it's royalty. The energy around Shedeur is different. It's electric, it's undeniable, and it's only getting louder. He doesn't just want to start, he expects to, and deep down, the world already knows what's coming. They're about to see exactly why trying to hold Shedeur Sanders back might go down as one of the funniest miscalculations in football history. Make sure you hit like, share, comment, and subscribe, because when QB1 takes over, you're going to want a front row seat to the show.
We got to take care of the ball better and continue to find opportunities. They hadn't turned it over, and then when their gimmick plays ran out, I thought we played pretty good defense.
How is it even possible that the NFL season's rolling like this, and it's not breaking the entire football world every single day? The chaos is insane, and this time, it's Mike Vrabel stirring the pot again. The man didn't just drop a hint, he flat out threw shade. And guess who's catching all that heat? None other than Kevin freaking Stefanski.
Hey, but I'm telling you right now, this the real thing. This is the real thing. He called that fool a gimmick coach, I ain't lying.
Vrabel straight up called him a gimmick coach. Like, what? That's wild. And get this, he said it right after that messy showdown between the New England Patriots and the Cleveland Browns on October 26th. That game had everything, except, well, the Browns' offense. Stefanski's squad started hot, sure, moving the ball smooth, mixing the run and pass like a well-oiled machine, even snagging an early touchdown to grab the lead. For a moment, it looked like Cleveland finally had it together. But let's be real, was that really a strong start? Nah, that was just a perfectly rehearsed script. You know, the same opening drive every team drills all week.
Stefanski got to be one of the most hated people in America, bro. I just got to be honest. Everybody in Cleveland wanted to see Kevin Stefanski out of here like last year. They sick of this fool. Not to mention this whole Dylan Gabriel situation need to be unplugged.
Once that script ended, so did the magic. The whole offense just fell apart like they forgot their lines. It's like they read the first page of the playbook and tossed the rest out the window. By the time the second quarter hit, the Browns weren't just losing on the field. They'd already lost the game in their heads. Before Cleveland fans start throwing shade my way, let me make one thing clear. I get it. You were clinging to that early spark like it was the start of a miracle. That first drive had people thinking, yo, maybe this is it. Maybe the Browns are finally waking up. But the sad truth? Hope doesn't win games, strategy does. Smart play calling, consistent execution, and strong drafting decisions win games. Hope's just the emotional snack between heartbreaks, and Cleveland fans have been surviving on that diet for way too long. How can you expect a win when your quarterback looks like he's running out of gas the second the script ends? The Patriots didn't even flinch. They handled the Browns like they were reading the playbook before it was even called.
Dylan Gabriel looked like Dylan Gabriel. His luck finally ran out with the picks. He also gave up a safety. Chris, I've seen enough. I said I've seen enough last week. But if Shedeur can't stay healthy, you're going to get him on the field. Chris, did he work out on the field before the game?
Yeah, tried to
get loose and get ready.
How do you get hurt? They won't even let the kid play.
It felt like they knew exactly what was coming next. That's not dominance. That's predictability. And that's the scary part, because once a team becomes predictable, it's like handing your opponent the keys to your house and saying, "Don't make a mess while you're robbing us." The Browns turned into their own worst enemy. Now let's get into why Mike Vrabel's comment blew up the way it did. Him calling Stefanski a gimmick coach? Yeah, that stung. But it's not like he was lying. It's the kind of statement that cuts deep because it sounds a little too close to the truth. It's the kind of drama everyone pretends to hate but secretly loves. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. You can't look away. And when that instant karma moment hit right after his comment went public, it was pure theater. The Browns became the main act in the league's biggest reality show, and the timing couldn't have been juicier. You could almost feel it. Vrabel had been waiting for this. Every play, every bad call, every stalled drive, it was like he knew this train wreck was coming.
But what Kevin Stefanski is telling all of us straight to our faces is that Dillon Gabriel is his guy, and he will never start Shedeur Sanders.
Yep.
Unless Dillon Gabriel can't play. He might even play Bailey Zappi before he plays Shedeur Sanders. He might go ask the Baltimore Ravens to trade back for Snoop Huntley before he plays Shedeur Sanders. He might even go ask the Bengals to trade Joe Flacco back so he can be the starter before he plays Shedeur Sanders. He might even go to the Raiders and get Kenny Pickett back before he plays Shedeur Sanders. The only way this Cleveland Browns team gets better this season or into next year is if Kevin Stefanski is not there.
When he finally took that shot, it landed perfectly. Stefanski and his crew looked lost. The quarterback looked overwhelmed, and fans were left shaking their heads, wondering how it all fell apart so fast. That humiliation hit hard. The coach's rep took a beating. The QB's confidence dipped, and the fan base straight up heartbroken. But here's the thing. People aren't mad without reason. Stefanski's been making strange choices for a while now. Questionable lineups, weird rotations, and draft calls that have everyone wondering what he's really seeing in practice. So, is the hate towards Stefanski deserved? That depends who you ask. Some fans say he's just misunderstood, others say he's being roasted just the right amount. But this isn't just about one bad game or one unlucky Sunday. It's about a pattern that's been eating away at the Browns for seasons. Stefanski's decisions are starting to feel less like strategy and more like stubborn pride. And no, this isn't some PR stunt for Shedeur Sanders or a hype train for the next QB. This is about accountability. It's about how bad drafting, inconsistent leadership, and one inflated ego are dragging down a team that should be doing so much better. The Browns deserve answers, and until they get them, this fire's not dying anytime soon. The kind of drama that can blow up everything, and I mean everything, including one of the NFL's most hyped up teams right now. This isn't just some mid-season slump. This is a full-on unraveling, happening right before our eyes. Let's talk Dillon Gabriel. The way he carried himself on the field said a lot, and this isn't some mindless praise piece. Credit where it's due, he came out confident, composed, and ready to prove himself. That first quarter, clean execution. He followed the script perfectly, dropped a sharp touchdown pass, and gave the Browns a 7-3 lead. For a rookie fresh out of college, that's impressive. You could see flashes of potential, his timing, his calm under pressure. It was all there. But the real test in this league doesn't come during those opening scripted drives. It comes when the game goes off script, when defenses start adapting and everything falls on instinct and football IQ.
92 the fan is, they kind of be pushing an agenda. Like, that's what I don't get. Like, their media structure is like weird as hell. It's like one person on the show hates Shedeur, the other person gotta like Shedeur. It seems scripted. I just gotta be honest, bro. This whole narrative in Cleveland, the way y'all media is structured, seem very scripted and whitewashed.
And that's where Gabriel still shows those rookie cracks. He's learning, yes, but learning in the spotlight can be brutal when the expectations are sky high. Now, let's be honest, the real shade isn't about Gabriel struggling, it's about Stefanski, the coach who still doesn't seem to know why his offense keeps collapsing after the first drive. He's the one who keeps doubling down on the same mistakes like he's trying to prove a point instead of win a game. You'd think after all the noise and backlash, he'd change things up, right? But nope, it's like he's locked into autopilot while the team spirals. And then comes the elephant in the room, Shedeur Sanders. This is where things get spicy. Everyone already knows Shedeur's got game. He's talented, sharp, and has the kind of composure you don't teach. It's natural. His leadership lights up the field, and you can't fake that kind of presence. But here's the mystery. Why bench him? Why replace a proven, confident quarterback with a rookie still finding his rhythm? It's not just questionable, it's bizarre. People keep whispering about rotation strategy or developing young talent, but come on, nobody's buying that. This isn't Little League, this is the N.F.L. You don't bench your star unless something deeper is going on. And that's where the conspiracy theories start flying. Is it personal? Is there locker room tension? Did Shedeur challenge Stefanski behind closed doors? Because the timing and logic just don't add up. And please, don't even bring up that injury rumor. That story's dead. Shedeur's clearly fine. He's been showing up, staying sharp, and moving like nothing's wrong. If he were hurt, we'd all see it. But instead, he's sending a quiet message without saying a word. I'm ready, but they won't let me play. That's not injury. That's politics. So now the fans are left wondering, what's really going on inside Cleveland's locker room? Because one thing's for sure, this isn't just about performance anymore. This feels personal. And when personal drama starts bleeding into play calling, that's when everything falls apart. Hurt? Please. They won't even let the kid play. This whole situation is starting to look like more than just a coaching choice. It's starting to look like a full-on mess. The decision raises serious questions about the team's strategy, management's accountability, and the logic behind their quarterback picks. Because honestly, the kind of message this sends to both the players and the fans, it's straight up embarrassing for Cleveland's credibility. And until someone at the top steps up and explains what's really happening, the frustration and wild theories are only going to keep growing louder. So, what's the deal with all this hate towards Stefanski? When you look at these questionable moves, you can't help but wonder, does he have something personal against Shedeur Sanders? Like, why would any coach risk benching a talented young quarterback in his prime for a rookie who's still finding his footing? It doesn't make sense. I'd be the first to defend Stefanski's loyalty if there were no better options available, or if Shedeur was actually hurt, but that's not the case. The truth is, Shedeur's been a standout, poised, focused, and laser sharp on the field. He's shown control, vision, and leadership every single time he's taken the snap. So, when you bench that kind of player, it's not just confusing, it's suspicious. The football world's looking at Cleveland right now, scratching its head, asking the same thing. What's really going on behind those closed doors? Because there's a big difference between sticking to a plan and sabotaging a player's rhythm just to prove a point. And this move, it's got bad call written all over it. That's why fans are fed up, and the noise calling for Stefanski's removal is getting harder to ignore. Only a handful of voices, mostly from 92 The Fan, are still backing him. And even that support feels staged, like someone handed them a script and said, "Read this with confidence." Everything about this feels sanitized, controlled, and painfully fake. And now, all we can do is wait to see what chaos comes next, because I can feel it. Something way spicier is brewing behind the scenes. So if you've been watching this wild saga unfold, make sure you've smashed that like button, dropped a comment with your thoughts on Mike's bold statement, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. Shedeur Sanders just went toe-to-toe with the Browns owner in a face-off that's shaking the entire NFL.
The Cleveland Browns have announced that their third-round pick, Deion Gabriel, will start Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings in London. When asked about Gabriel getting the starting job, it literally left Shedeur speechless.
From Rex Ryan's brutal public takedown, to Shara's eerie silent protest, to the whispers claiming Cleveland's front office sabotaged him before he even touched the field. This is pure chaos. The league hasn't seen a storm like this in years, and it's all centered around one young man who refuses to stay quiet.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, because whatever he says, they're going to twist his words. If you say nothing, you know, there's really on any other team. There are 31 there are 31 other teams. Do any of those media members talk to the third string quarterback?
No.
Oh, it's controversy. Why create controversy? How do you not create it? By when they ask you questions, just don't answer.
The NFL might sell dreams of glory and greatness, but behind those shiny helmets and billion-dollar contracts hides a ruthless game of politics, egos, and raw power. And right now, no story captures that cold reality better than what's happening to Shedeur Sanders, the son of primetime himself, Deion Sanders. The legacy alone should have guaranteed respect, but instead, it feels like he's fighting the system itself. Shedeur wasn't supposed to be just another quarterback prospect. He was meant to be the one.
But he's not a fifth-round pick. So we shouldn't ask him to act like a fifth-round pick because that's not what we believe he is. For me, look, if he'd have took the pro, say, look, I'm happy for Dylan.
Right.
Hopefully he goes out there and plays well. Joe, I feel bad for Joe, but you know, this is the game of football. This is a business, and hey, I'm just, you know, I'm happy for Dylan, and my job doesn't change.
Right.
I go out there, I prepare.
A true generational talent ready to flip the script and drag his father's legacy straight into the modern NFL spotlight. But instead of being celebrated, he's been torn down by analysts, demoted by coaches, and quietly buried by Cleveland's own front office. It's like the franchise didn't want a star, they wanted silence. Going into the 2025 N.F.L. draft, Shedeur Sanders wasn't hype. He was proof. Multiple analysts had him pegged as the potential #1 overall pick, not out of favoritism, but pure facts, stats, tape, and performances that screamed dominance. His 2024 season at Colorado wasn't just impressive, it was historic. And now, the same talent that once made headlines is caught in a storm the NFL can't ignore. This was being called the biggest draft slide in NFL history.
Yeah, we know
Joe Flacco was in Cleveland once before, and they let him go.
Yeah.
He was in Indy, and he wasn't, let me get this straight, he wasn't the answer the first time around in Cleveland. He wasn't the answer in Indy. He wasn't the answer at the Jets, but now he's going to be the answer this time around. Joe Flacco hadn't been the answer since 2012 when he took the Ravens to the Super Bowl, and that's it.
Bigger than Aaron Rodgers in 2005. More jaw-dropping than Lamar Jackson in 2018. Shedeur Sanders didn't just fall a few spots. He plummeted in real time while the whole world watched in disbelief. It was the kind of drop that instantly set off alarms everywhere, sparking a national frenzy about what really went down behind those secretive NFL war room doors. Something wasn't adding up, and people wanted answers, fast. Then came the real madness. Almost immediately after the draft, whispers of collusion started catching fire. NFL legends began stepping up. Eric Dickerson himself claimed there was a league-wide blackballing against Shedeur Sanders.
That's a great piece of television from Rex Ryan. Hats off to Rex and ESPN. So we're finally, this speaks to a cultural change. This is a black quarterback he's talking about, and he's talking pretty salty and spicy about him. And I think he's talking accurately about him. He said, if I know other coaches around the league are talking about it, you're lazy, you're not a leader, you're not at the front of the meeting room, soaking up everything you can.
Even Boomer Esiason went on WFAN saying multiple owners had straight up told their general managers to erase Sanders from their draft boards completely. He said owners were giving direct orders like, take him off. I don't want that guy. That's not normal draft talk. That's power being flexed in the shadows. Let that sink in. We're not talking about a kid who ran a slow 40-yard dash or missed throws at the combine. This wasn't about skill. It was about control.
It's just unusual to see the starter get benched. And, well, I guess it's common because when Russ got benched, Jackson Dart came in to start and Russell went to the backup.
Right.
So I guess it's not as unusual as we might think it is. You're like, well, hold on. Flacco got benched. Shedeur was already third. Shouldn't everybody just like move up a spot and the guy jumps back? But that's seemingly not how they did it because Brian Daboll said that Jackson Dart would start the rest of the season and Russ would serve as his backup, and Jameis stays where Jameis is.
We're talking billionaire owners allegedly scheming to keep a talented, confident black quarterback with a legendary father